All right, yo, yo, yo. Guess who's back? It's the Black Wrecellence podcast, and today we are talking about the year-end awards, the best of 2020. And we got two of my favorite people in the entire world, my favorite wrestling journalists, are here to help me. Oh, Phil said he's not a wrestling journalist. Let me run that back. My favorite people that write about wrestling on the internet and do interviews. Today we got, first up, he's been here before. We talk a lot of shit before. It was great. It was like 2 hours of me and this fool going toe to toe. He writes for Post Wrestling. Andrew Thompson interviews. You gotta check the boy out. It's Andrew Thompson. What's good, Drew?
Man, what's good, Reg? I appreciate you having me on, my brother. Always good to be back. And yeah, you almost got me ran over by Nick Gage. Never forget that.
I knew it was coming. I was like, we might be able to get through this whole intro without Nick Gage. And I was wrong. And next up, one of my favorite writers, always on top of things. Sometimes I'll think a thought about wrestling and I'm like, I'm gonna go tweet this, but then this dude already tweeted it and I'm like, all right, everything's good here. He's a writer for Sports Skeeter Wrestling, Daily DDT. He does some stuff with Bleacher Report. He's everywhere. This is Phil Lindsey. What's good, Phil?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. Got a kind of cool feel, man. It's kind of like when Hove came through and had like Kanye and Nas on the same stage, man. It's like,
yeah, exactly. No, for reals. We standing right there while Black President's playing. I feel like it's just like, it's a big moment right here.
It's like wrestling history in the making. Right?
It is. It's big Black wrestling history in the making.
Big Black wrestling.
So, as everything that I always do, a couple days ago, I'm on Twitter. It's December. They're starting up with these year-end awards. Everybody's putting out their list, all kinds of stuff. The people that I follow are upset for some reason because, again, all of us are being excluded from these lists, or like, I don't know how they're created or what the hell's happening. I know that one was kind of inspired by the IWTV's list and people were upset. So I was like, here I go again to try to help my people and try to go for it. So I went on, created this list for people to vote, best wrestler, but all these things, released the list, told these people to vote. People came out and voted. You guys voted. How was the experience voting? Did I make it pretty easy for everybody?
You kick it off, Phil.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty easy process. It wasn't one of those things where a lot of people picked like 3 or 4 choices. Like, I felt like you have like a nice range of choices to pick from.
Yeah, I thought, like, I mean, of course, like the whole, the Survey Monkey thing, I think that was real sharp right there. Then over like the selection process, I feel like you included like a lot of variety. Like, it wasn't kind of like it was some names on there that people might see. You'd be like, because like this year been so jam packed with so much stuff. Everything kind of some things get kind of lost in the mix. But like, I feel like you really did kind of bring like a lot of these names back to people's minds. Like, oh damn, they did have a pretty good year. They did do something cool this year.
It's crazy because like the year's been so crazy. Obviously, pandemic wrestling is like we're entered into a different world of wrestling, and so trying to remember all these moments is like the Keith Lee winning the being double champ seems like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Now, you want to know, like you mentioned Keith Lee, man. Like I swear, like that moment when he entered the Rumble against Brock, I swear that does not feel like this year. Like,
right,
that was
not at all.
That was literally in January. So like it's just crazy. It just go to show you how like long this year's been. And then we specifically talking about wrestling right now, but we ain't even talking about like the outside real, like the real world stuff that been going on this year, specifically within the Black community. So yeah, this shit been crazy all year, man. But we halfway through, man. We halfway through.
Yeah, we need another 2-hour podcast to talk about the regular shit going on. Jeez Louise, I don't even want to. So yes, look, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna start right at the top.
Yes.
On Wrestler of the Year. Wrestler of the year. It was a big year for a lot of wrestlers. Who were some of you guys' favorites this year? Let's start with you, Andrew.
Man, when you look at this list, there are a lot of people on here who really deserve this award for a lot of different reasons, and I think all of them kind of really separated themselves. Like, and we could honestly just go straight down the list for real when you think about it, man. Like, I think Lee Moriarty like really solidified himself as like one of the top independent wrestlers out there. You know, mixing it up with Gresham, mixing it up with ACH, and then like of course being his age. Like just coming up the way he did, man, it was a real like solid year for him. You look at Leo Rush, Reg, man, you talked about this earlier. Like I know all the rest of stuff, cool, that's all fine and dandy, but this man is on the challenge, bro.
Straight up,
he is on the challenge, bro. Like, look, anybody listening to this, please don't take offense to what I'm saying. Look, all the wrestling accomplishments that Leo Rush has had this year have been amazing. But this man is literally on one of MTV's biggest shows. He did not get eliminated on the first show. He is still on there.
They were number one in the ratings that day. So
yes, they always whooping NXT and AEW in the ratings. That's been going on since last fall. But yeah, man, you look at Sasha Banks, Trisha Dora had a really good year. But I think she's one that I just wanted to mention. Like, I feel like, you know, that little gap where independent wrestling sort of stopped right after the pandemic. I feel like that really kind of slowed her down just a little bit, because I feel like she was on pace for a real great year. And like, man, it's a lot of people on this list, man, but just narrowing it down, I'll say Leo Rush, Sasha Banks, and Trisha Dora is probably gonna come down to me for me.
Phil?
I would say, of course, like ACH. I mean, like, man, the matches we've seen this guy put on this year, I was just thinking of that Saturday. I mean, still think he should have won Super J Cup. Spoiler alert, you know.
Yeah.
But even just that night, just the match he had with Bay was dope. Man, like the match he had with Lee Moriarty, the match he had with Leo. Man, he's had a huge year. And I mean, Chris Bay's had a huge year. Had a phenomenal Saturday night, man. I mean, 2 great matches in the same night. X Division champion. I mean, got the endorsement from Cody. Don't know why they didn't sign him, but I mean, it's pretty much off to the races at this point. He's everywhere now.
I think it might have worked out for him, but I'm still mad about it.
I'm about to say, just to add on the field point about ACH, like I mean, even though this is still 2020, you can even like kind of piggyback off just like that kind of that rough ending to 2019 that he had, you know, coming off the WWE stuff and then bouncing back the way he did. Like you can still add that onto what kind of a great year that he's had so far.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, he I thought definitely too that he should have won the Super J Cup. It was just like set up for him, but I understand what New Japan's doing, and with Chris Bay, that match with Rich Swann is like fucking up all this list, right? I'm like, yo, that match could have been the match. That match was incredible. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, but when I saw the Super J Cup and I was looking at it and like I saw the people that was in it, like I kind of figured, like I'm pretty sure this what you was like alluding to, Reg, like they probably wasn't gonna have somebody winning that wasn't under contract or wasn't like you know exclusive to New Japan. So they like when you looked at it, you kind of be like, oh, it was El Phantasmo, but like. Man, it was so many people in that time. I saw your tweet, Reg, about it's probably the blackest New Japan show.
I don't know if there's another one. I really don't.
But yeah, man, like a dude like ACH, I know he said publicly that he wants to go back to Japan. Like every time I think about ACH, I always think about that moment that he had in Korakuen. When he stole the spotlight from Naito and had the whole crowd going crazy dancing to Naito's theme. So yeah, man, like I agree with Phil 100%. I think ACH definitely could be in consideration for this award, and he probably should have won the Super J Cup, but that is what it is.
Well, that is great to hear. Well, results are in.
Here we go. Drum roll.
Let's get a drum roll.
Here we go.
The 2020 best wrestler, the best black wrestler in the world. I'm very excited that this happened like this. Lee Moriarty won, you guys. Hey. Lee Moriarty's the guy.
There we go. Yeah. Hashtag the youth.
Yeah, straight. This guy, like, this run that he went on. I was talking to him and I was like, you had a crazy pandemic a great year. The things that you done were insane. But if it wasn't this year like this, you would have had an even crazier run. And he told me he thinks he thinks the pandemic was better for him, which is weird. But I don't know.
Man,
that's how wrestlers can feel. Yeah.
You want to know what? Like, I think that little hot stretch that Lee had, like with the spring break and for the culture, like that weekend, and then the weeks prior to and after that, I really think that helped him get the votes in this award. Like, and then at that, I really think people just think like he's just a nice dude. So like, so of course they gonna vote for him, man. So yeah, I mean you can't go wrong with anybody on this list, man. But like, yeah, congratulations to Lee Moriarty, man. I think it's well deserved, and it's only gonna be up from here from now. Like, I think he had plenty of options on the table come 2021.
Yeah, Lee was number one. Number two was a tie, actually. Ooh. It was Sasha Banks and Trish Adora tied for number two.
Look at that. Ain't that something? What you think about that, Phil? Sasha and Trish tied here there for number two.
I mean, man, it is kind of crazy just to think about just the year that both of them had and have both of them tied the same spot. Man, like, I just feel like Trish is like right there though. Like, once she starts getting all of the bookings, and that probably would have happened this year, like if COVID didn't hit. But man, once she gets all the bookings, man, she's just gonna completely take off.
Let me ask you this, Phil, because I know Phil's a big advocate for women's wrestling. I always like that Phil's like really take the next step to really spotlight it. Like, so would you say that Sasha Banks has kind of been WWE's sort of MVP of this whole pandemic era from March to where we're at now, and however long it's going to continue going forward? Would you say that Sasha Banks has probably been WWE's most valuable asset throughout this whole thing?
Yeah, I would say definitely for sure, but I would say it's like her, Bayley, and Asuka for sure. Like, I think they have been killing it like all year during the pandemic. Yeah. I mean, there's some other people you could probably throw in there, but like the three of them, like that month where they were having all those matches, like that was the best that Raw and SmackDown was for a while.
Right. Yeah, I think the reason you would give it to them is because Roman was out for so long. Like, that time that Roman was out, they were just carrying all the shows that whole time. The three women were just carrying all the shows that whole time.
Even when Roman came back, Sasha still had the best match on the Hell in a Cell card.
Right.
I mean, I think you could argue she had the best match on the Clash of Champions card too, right? Wasn't she on the card, or no, I'm wrong. That was pay-per-view after that. Too many pay-per-views.
Yeah, there's a lot.
hold on, wait, Red. So I gotta ask you, where is this man Lio Rush at? Because the challenge is that's my guilty pleasure show right there.
You know what? Leo actually didn't get a lot of votes, to keep it real. Yeah, I was kind of surprised about it. Yeah.
But another one who I really think did deserve some props, man, was Rich Swann, because I think Swann is the second Black Impact World Champion, right, behind Lashley.
Yeah.
So that I think that's a major one that really deserves some props, man. And then especially coming back from that injury he had, dude. Like, I know he did a couple interviews when he was just like, he really thought his career probably would have been over. Like, his foot was like crushed, like it was like bad to the point where he thought he was done. And then just to come back the way he did and still perform the way he does. That's crazy, man. That just goes to show you, how bad he wants and how good he is, how good he has been. Like, I feel like Rich Swann is like one of those guys that's been around for so long, man. Like, really doesn't get the credit he deserves. I know that kind of get thrown around for a lot of people, but I feel like Swann is like definitely up there, man. And then look, we could also be talking about Keith Lee for real in the same vein. I feel like ever since Keith Lee got called up, it kind of been up and down. So we kind of like,
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I just like the day he won the Impact Championship. I can't remember who it was, but somebody shared that video of like the montage of him and Ricochet when they were a tag team, and like that just seems like it was so long ago. But man, that was just such a fun time period, man. I didn't understand why they didn't use him and Ricochet together like that when they were both with WWE.
Right.
Man, telling you. Hey, so Reg, let me ask you this, right? Another person on this list who I see is Scorpio Sky, right? I think we all know how talented Scorpio is when we on a singles tag team, whatever it may be. when you look at kind of his year in AEW, how kind of been hot and cold. Like, you know, he's been primarily featured on AEW Dark. I think that's fair to say. Like, what do you think AEW could do better with Scorpio Sky without like them trying to like just putting him in random storylines that really don't mean anything, or like what just could they do to present Scorpio Sky in a better light outside of like the video packages they did, and then it didn't like really go anywhere. Now he's kind of like in this little flux with Sean Spears, and you know, I guess we just still waiting on the match to happen. But like, just from what you've seen so far and what you've seen from Scorpio over the years, like, what do you think they could do better with him?
Well, I think they were starting, like what you said with the video packages, and when he got the title shot with Jericho, those things that they were doing at that point were good for him, for his character, but then it just fizzled off and they just stopped it. I think they just need to get him out there. He needs to be on Dynamite in a singles match against someone, just getting the time to shine. Like, I don't, you know, we love Sean Spears, but dude, no one wants to see. No one wants to see that. I'm sorry, Sean Spears. I'm sorry, bro, but no one wants to see that. So it's like you got to get him into a program where people are going to be invested in him winning. Because if he beats Sean Spears, they're like, cool, great AEW Dark match. Nothing against AEW Dark. AEW Dark has done. AEW Dark is the unsung hero of 2020, like hands down. Like there isn't nothing's even close to what AEW Dark has done for the culture. It's crazy.
I agree. But you go ahead, Rich.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to add on with our good brother Isaiah's first guy. I think we all can agree in this right here that he should have won a cruiserweight title at some point this year. Like it is no reason why. And I think I've even seen Phil openly say this on Twitter. Like he should have been won the cruiserweight title or some type of title in NXT already. Like everybody knows Swerve has got like all the intangibles that you need to be a champion.
Yeah. To slightly go on a mini rant. Just a small rant. I don't understand why they're using him as a cruiserweight. I think the guy's a world champion. He's proven he's a world champion at other places. Like the run he had with MLW, the stuff with Defiant. The guy's a star. He was the hottest indie wrestler at the time when they signed him. Yep. Like that's not exaggeration. That is what it was. He did a profile with ESPN right before they signed him. That's how hot he was at the time. And you wouldn't know that now. I mean, of course, he's got the podcast on the network. He's doing good things. But I just think they've cooled him so much. Like, even having him lose in the breakout tournament in the first round. Having him lose, like, immediately in the cruiserweight tournament after that. And, like, I mean, it doesn't even seem like they're going to go back to the Leon Rush stuff with the North American Championship, but that's an easy spot you could put Swerve in. Why isn't Swerve in contention for the North American Championship? Right. Why isn't he in contention for the NXT Championship?
And I agree with that 100%. I think it's all about how they present certain people, man. Like I even like the direction how they was going with Leon Ruff. Like when they kind of like at first, I think people kind of saw the story, the character Leon Ruff is like, oh, this guy just magically won the title by luck, and then they kind of started sort of the insert a little bit of attitude into the Leon Ruff character, then they got interesting. And like with Swerve, it's kind of like they don't really know they don't know how to present Swerve, so that's why he's kind of like in this position. And just right now, just looking at it from what I've seen from NXT, it kind of feels like Jake Atlas is kind of on that climb up, and Swerve is kind of like on the back end, kind of maybe doing a little bit of character change. So and like. But honestly, man, I don't even see Swerve as a heel. Like I can't see that. Like it's more so he's just a relaxed dude, chill dude, and I think it's different layers that you can add to him, man, instead of just letting him fade out into the background. But hopefully that's not the case. I don't think that's gonna happen, but you never know with the E.
NXT really frustrates me because a lot of what they do is great, and like. If you go through the year, you could probably find a lot of great moments. But every time I get super frustrated is when they started talking about NXT Championship #1 contenders match, because it's always super white. They can have 10. Yes. They'll be like, here's 10 guys, and they're all going to be white every single time. I just don't understand why they do this. Every time they're like, all right, we need a new contender. Bring out all the white guys back there. And they do it.
and this is kind of what I explained on Twitter, and I kind of got a little bit of hate for it, but man, I don't think anybody would be upset with the Keith Lee stuff if it happened in a vacuum. Like if he just came up and like they kind of didn't know what to do with him. But this man was a double champion 5 months ago. Right. And we're now not knowing what to do with him. How? Like you gave this man a reign that was less than a month, and then you moved him up and you had no plan for him. If you're going to move him up, you should have had something that you wanted to do with him.
Mm-hmm. You want to know what? I think we all kind of feel the same. Like I think they kind of they were a little too geeked up to run to the Karrion Kross thing. Like they were like just a little bit. Like I feel like that Keith Lee run could have kept going. Like they could have extended that just a little bit. But I feel like I feel like the powers that be in NXT, they like as soon as Karrion Kross came to them, they was like, that's gonna be that's gonna be the guy. That's the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but you got Keith Lee right there. Keith Lee's the guy. Like Keith Lee's the guy you want.
I mean, they jumped over a lot of guys for Kross, and I don't want to turn that into shade for Kross, but I mean, you got Kushida right there. I mean, you've got several guys on that roster that should be in that position, and you're not really doing anything with them.
Man. I knew shit was going downhill when Keith Lee just vacated the NXT North American champion. I was like, all right, I already don't like what's going on here. I knew something was bad, and they finished it off pretty bad. Jeez, please, oh my God! Why did you call him up? I just explained to me in one sentence why you called him up, man.
But you don't know what it is though, man. Like they started him off so good on the main roster. Like he got the clean win over Orton. I was like, okay, well, that shocked the hell out of me. I didn't think they was gonna do that. And then like it just kind of fizzled out from there, up and down. And like I think it really kind of started off with the theme song. Like I think that. When he came up that jump with generic number 5, I think people got pissed off the rip. So like I mean like he started off so good, man, with the clean win, and then like it's like I think Keith Lee could at least been U.S. champion by now. Like at least like you know what I'm saying. I think he could have at least been that by now.
Yeah, but see, I don't the music and everything, his presentation. That's why I'm like, if it all happened in a vacuum, I don't think anybody would have been as upset. Right. But when you take the title off of him that fast, everybody's looking at the next Raw and the next few matches on Raw like, okay, this better be good because y'all ended his reign. So it's like, where are we going with this? And so now every time it's disappointing, it's like, yo, y'all really ended his reign to do this? Why?
I'm about to fight these guys. I'm going to WWE to fight somebody. This is not right. They sent him back to develop. Oh my God! I will.
We're gonna see Reg on TMZ outside WWE headquarters.
Straight up.
Throwing hands with Vince.
You don't want it. Also, don't put that on me. Those are freak weirdos. I would never. Keith Lee was number 3. I mean, Sasha and Trish tied, I guess, for number 2. So Keith Lee was the 3rd wrestler of the year. And now we're going to get into the tag team of the year. I'm going to do this one a little different. I'm going to go down the tag teams. Top Flight, The Rep, New Day, Private Party, Street Profits, Gym Nasty Boys, Injustice, Hurt Business, Culture Season, 40 Acres, Milk Chocolate, Waves and Curls. This is a lot of tag teams. Technical Difficulties, Sasha and Bailey, The Acclaimed, Tasha and Kira, The Rascals, Eel and Jordan, Soldiers of Savagery, Freddie and Don't Die Miles, and Alpha Omega. That's a lot of black tag teams, man. Look at that. Isn't that great?
Yeah. I was sitting here like, okay, how many of those names do I know? But yeah, it was a bunch of guys on that list and women that had a great year. I mean, I was really impressed with Kings of the District, Jordan Blade and Eel O'Neal. Yeah. I thought they looked great in both the primetime shows. Both winning the championship and the times they defended it. I was really impressed with Technical Difficulties too. That was my first time seeing them for Black Wrestlers Matter.
Yeah.
Who did they wrestle Alpha Omega?
I think they did wrestle Alpha Omega. Yeah.
Yeah, I like them too. Yeah. If I had to pick my tag team of the year, though,
who did you pick?
probably Top Flight, man, because Top Flight I feel like their upside is just so high right now, man, and just getting a match on Dynamite against the Young Bucks, you can't get much bigger than that.
For my tag team of the year, I just wanted to add on to what Phil said about Jordan Blade and Ill O'Neil. I'm telling you, man, like I don't know what it is about them, but like I really like their dynamic.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw Jordan Blade for the first time at the primetime show in DC when I went there, and this had to be probably spring 2019, probably or summer 2019, and this is before I was hip about Jordan Blade and Ill O'Neil. And I remember I was sitting down before the show started, and I'm talking to somebody, and I didn't know who Jordan Blade was at the time, and we just having a regular conversation amongst a group of people, and then like an hour later I see her running in the ring. I'm like, oh shit, that's the lady who I was just talking to right there. I was like, it's crazy, bro. but yeah, man, like she like extremely talented. Like her and Ill, man, I'm telling you, they got big things on the way for them. Like I'd be very surprised if they not like somewhere just shining all over the place in the next 4 or 5 years or 3 years or whatever time period it may be. But for my pick, I picked the Street Profits just because of like the road they've been on since January. And like even though WWE Tag Team Division ain't nothing, I think we all can agree on that. But the Street Profits have kind of high key been the focus of their Tag Team Division since they got that big win. I think it was at the Barclays in January. So like man, they kind of really been the forefront of WWE Tag Team Division. And you know, you can even like if we recorded this interview, maybe recorded this podcast like a couple weeks from now, we probably could have been saying Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan because I think they're gonna win the Knockouts tag title. So
putting them predictions out.
But, I definitely think they're gonna end up winning it. But yeah, it was just like Phil. It was it was a close little thing right there with Top Flight. But I'm gonna roll with the Street Profits.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that said that the Street Profits had only been pinned like 3 times or something since they've been on the main roster. Like they're one of the most protected tag teams in all of WWE. That's the only tag team they got.
Well, man, I said something like a few weeks ago, and like it blew up. I didn't expect it to blow up, but I was like, man, so are we gonna acknowledge that Black wrestlers are carrying WWE's tag teams or not? Because New Day, Hurt Business, like they are carrying the tag division right now,
pretty easily too.
Yes, I'm telling you, they've been like out of all the teams that I thought like most of the times that I'm pretty sure we had this internal worry that whatever talents come up from NXT, they just gonna be completely just ruined by the time they get up to Raw, SmackDown. But like the Street Profits, man, they had a good run so far. Like WWE got them in all these commercials and doing all this like extra work and stuff. Like I think they really value Montez and Angelo, man. It's been cool to see.
I knew it was a wrap when they held that white baby. I was like, oh, it's to the moon now. They going to the moon, boy.
Hey, Reg, I swear. hey, bro, I swear to God, like that, not even trying to be funny right now. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh man, yeah, they going. That tag team championships.
That's it.
And no, bro, I swear. And the thing was, bro, like that was like one of the most wholesome moments. Like that baby was happy as hell. The mom was in the background cheesing. Like
I was like, I was like, oh, this is it. They did it. They figured it out. I don't know. It's hard to figure out those moments. It's hard to get that moment for so many wrestlers, and most of them think it's going to be like this is some WrestleMania moment. No, it's moments like that where Vince McMahon is like, look at these two with this white baby. The white baby's so excited. That's the moment. That's when you start making money, not some 5-star match, bro.
But feeling rich, bro. That moment could have went so left, bro. Like it could have went.
You gotta. It's a fine line for your moment, man. It's a fine line.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. If that baby would have started crying, we wouldn't even see him.
Exactly. They would have been split up right there. They would have got to the back. You guys are split up. This tag team is done. Both of you are back to NXT. This is over. But luckily, it worked out, man. Luckily, it worked out. All right. So the tag team, the tag team of the year. I think it was this run very recently that swayed a lot of the votes. This tag team is super young. They're 19 and 21 years old. I thought the same of the tag team of the year. Top Flight had an incredible couple of weeks these last couple of months. On Dynamite, they wrestled the Young Bucks on Dynamite and just like blew me away, blew everybody away. What do you guys think of Top Flight?
You kick it off. I can't say enough good things about Top Flight, man. I thought Airwolf had quietly one of the best matches this year with Jossie.
That was so good. Oh man,
that was at the Black Wrestlers Matter show, right?
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Yeah. Kicked it off.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't say enough good things about them. I'm glad they're getting the mainstream attention now. Hopefully, like this is a good sign for them signing with AEW, and they've got big plans for them.
Man, I respect the fact that they shot the way they did. They just sent a DM over to the Young Bucks and was like, "Hey, this is what we got right here," and it worked. So,
if you got it, that's what wrestlers need to know. If you got it, that can work. Like that, I see a lot of wrestlers like, "Oh, just doing like emoji eyes or whatever." No, if you got it, that promoter's gonna get you. You know what I mean? You can shoot your shot.
Right, and then like you just said, 21 and 19 years old, man, and like they like it's only the beginning, man. Like they ain't even halfway through their journey, so it's gonna be crazy to see where they at 4 or 5 years from now. Like I don't think it's a question that they gonna end up being AEW World Tag Team Champions at some point. Just even hearing the way that the Bucks speak about them publicly, talking about how they see a lot of themselves, right. And you can tell they got some they got something in store for Top Flight. But I think Top Flight their talents on their own gonna carry them to that next level. So like I'm very very happy to see that they got this award, and it was real like you could just tell by the reception from them getting signed, like how many people were like genuinely happy for them. So it's cool for them, man, and like I can't wait to see what they do in AEW in 2021.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet for me because AEW. This is the second time that AEW's done this. They brought my favorite tag team ever for the year. My favorite tag team in the world was Private Party. Everything that Private Party did was like Private Party. Here we go, and then out of nowhere, here comes Top Flight, and I'm like, oh, but what about Private Party, you guys?
All right. Phil, let me ask you just brought up something that's really brought something to my head. Phil, let me ask you this, right? So you, I think we all remember when Private Party beat the Young Bucks in the first round of the AEW Tag Title Tournament. Like, Phil, looking back at that and kind of seeing Private Party is not like really been doing like that much in AEW, like kind of since that really peak of their runs in the company. Like, hindsight being 2020, of course, do you think the smarter move probably would have been at Private Party if they beat the Young Bucks? They should have just won the whole damn thing.
Yes and no, because I mean I thought they were the young and up and coming team, and it would have been good for them to win. But at the same time, if they don't win, that doesn't kick off the year that Scorpio had.
Right.
Like him winning the title and then getting the Jericho match and everything else he got out of that. So right. I don't know if I would say they should have been inaugural champions, because it's just like maybe in hindsight it would have been great, but like I can't imagine not getting that year from Scorpio, because Scorpio quietly had one of the best years in the company.
He did.
And so, man, it's tough, man. They have so many good tag teams, man.
It's crazy.
I mean, they've got LAX and all these other guys.
Lucha Bros.
Yeah, man.
I really think Castle and Bones might be one of their one of their big.
Their claim, yep.
I'm telling you, I think that's gonna be one of their solid heel teams, for the next couple of years, man. That they're gonna have. Like I could just see the way like Castle and Bones just really react off each other on screen. It's gonna be cool to see what they do going forward.
Yeah.
Pretty great. I like those guys a lot. Second place, the Street Profits. A lot of people love the Street Profits, what they did. The tag team match that they had with the New Day at SummerSlam or Survivor Series is very popular out there. And then the third tag team was Sasha and Bailey. They had a great run too. Look at Sasha.
They did. They did. They carried WWE for a period there, man. I'm telling you.
They did.
Do you guys think that they split them up too soon? And in hindsight of what we've already seen, do you think the split was too soon? I thought that was going to go to Mania at least, but that's just me.
As far as the split goes, I think they did it right on time. Like I feel like people kind of been waiting for this Sasha Bailey thing to blow over, man. And it's like you can always revisit it later down the line. Like
True.
I mean, I feel like they kind of view Sasha and Bailey kind of in that not as far as like I feel like they kind of view them in the same vein as Kevin and Sammy. Like they kind of view like you can always go back to it. Like as many times as you could split them apart or put them on different brands or on the same brand and just keep them in different storylines, you can always go back to Sasha and Bailey. So yeah, I think the split was right on time.
Yeah, I agree. I think the split happened at the perfect time. I think they brought Sasha back too soon. I thought she should have stayed on the shelf a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you know, I do think her winning in Hell in a Cell means a lot because she's the only woman that's been in all 3 Women in Hell in a Cell matches. So she had to at least win one.
True.
But yeah, I kind of wish they had strung it out longer. I had the theory for a long time that she should have gotten her first title defense at WrestleMania because it would have meant more.
True. Yeah, I like that.
But it is what it is. I thought they did well with what they did. But yeah, I think the split happened at the perfect time because they had already strung it out long enough. We've been waiting for the split for like 2 years.
Definitely. And luckily they knocked everything out of the park that they did, so it made everything worth it.
Yeah.
Next up was probably my favorite category because it has so many of my big homies in it. It's the Breakout Star of the Year. This is the closest vote of the whole thing. It was won by 1 vote. The nominees in this category were my big homie Will Hobbs, my other big homie Calvin Tankman, Top Flight, Big Swole's in there, Bianca Belair, JDX, the Captain Sean Dean, Christian Casanova, Hoodfoot Mo Atlas, AC Mack, La Fashionista, O'Shea Edwards, Suge D, Leon Ruff, Willow Nightingale, Myron Reed, Faye Jackson, Cedric Alexander, Trey Lamar, and Sonny Kiss. That's an amazing bunch of people. I have a personal, Will Hobbs in AEW is my number one favorite thing of the whole year just because I'm so close to the situation. Like, this person, like, calls me on the phone and, like, asks me how my day is and shit. And, like, I get to see this guy. When he came out on that pay-per-view of the Casino Battle Royale, I lost it. When, you know what I mean? Like, every time he gets another moment, I just lose it. I'm so happy for my friend. So just, like, Will Hobbs, anything for me is just, like, it. I love him. It's my brother.
Nah, Rich, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, this category specifically, I spent like a good 5-6 minutes on this one. Like, it's so many people you can lobby for this spot. And you know what? I'm gonna say this just to spark a little mini rant and feel right here. So we could be saying Bianca Belair, but you know they decided to keep her off TV after WrestleMania for a couple of months.
Yeah, I just
Phil?
Man.
Phil?
I think it was an interesting decision to have Bianca in just a cameo spot in WrestleMania and not an actual match, even though
very interesting.
She upstaged both Rhea and Charlotte in that feud, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like all of the spots where all 3 of them were in the same ring together, she was the most interesting and the most entertaining all 3 times.
Bro, they used her.
I mean, they basically used her to put that match over, and then she got a cameo spot where she came out to save the Street Profits from Selena.
Yeah.
And I just think it's wild that she was never NXT champion. I don't understand why she didn't win the Rumble. She set the record and then didn't win.
Hey, I'm about to say, hey Phil, quote unquote, it wasn't her time.
Yeah, I mean, we get that all the time for black wrestlers. Like, it just seems like every time it's like, well, you got to be patient. You know, she's not a promo. She's not a great promo. Because they throw that out with Naomi, too. Like, well, she's not a great promo, or she doesn't do this good, which is nonsense. Because Bianca
she's not a great promo to you.
Exactly. That's what it is.
So yeah, it's always be patient with us. We're always held to a different standard, but then you get Cross in and he's immediately skyrocketed to the top. But Bianca's not ready, even though she's like one of the best homegrown talents they've had probably ever. Like in terms of athleticism, she just has it. She's a star. Like you could see it.
Man, bro, they're like, be patient be patient for Black wrestlers, but I had to watch Lacey Evans for like 6 months being a SmackDown. She was the #1 contender for like 6 months, bro. And all the matches were awful.
Listen, man. Somebody told me one day on Twitter that Becky sabotaged Lacey, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" What? She put Lacey on the map. Lacey became a fixture because of Becky, man.
That's the worst sabotage I've ever seen. Sabotage me if that's the case. Damn.
But you want to know what's crazy about Bianca though, man? Like throughout the way that the WWE, but I'm not gonna. I mean, because you know what? I think NXT, besides not giving her a title reign, I really think they really treated her as kind of that superstar type talent. Like I feel like, but like the issue is, and I think everybody can kind of agree on this, is like they always just they build Bianca up as this monster. You can't beat her, you can't stop her, just for her to lose the big one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's where the issue comes in. Is like people expecting like, okay, it ain't happen the first time. It'll probably happen the second time. Didn't happen the second time, and it didn't happen the third time. So people like, what the hell they doing with Bianca Belair? And then we all, saw her got called up to Raw. And we thinking, here we go. It's showtime now. They about to really do it. She off TV for 4 months. But now we see her on SmackDown. And I think the automatic thing that we all think, and we all looking at it, her and Sasha somewhere down the line, like that's the money match. And I'm telling you, bro, if WWE is too blind to see that this is where the money is with Sasha and Bianca. Man, bro, because like the thing is, like Bianca, she is very marketable, bro. Like you know how many little kids probably want the little braid. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, but you can do so much with her on the market side. You can send her all these TV shows, talk shows, and have her do the whole 9. She can do all that, literally all of it. But yeah, man, she definitely could have been in this the decision for breakout star of the year. But WWE going WWE. But
exactly.
But for this spot, man, I'm a rock with good man Suge D for his hell of a year. AEW, WWE. This man got him a shirt. The coin, the Pineapple Pete nickname. Done it all, man. Shout out to Suge for the crazy 2020. I'm gonna roll with Suge for breakout star of the year.
What about you, Phil?
I think I'm gonna go with Leon Ruff, man. I think nobody really expected him to do as well in the spot they put him in, and I thought he did amazing. When they allowed him to have character moments, he did great. I thought when he stood up to Gargano and then eventually stood up to Priest later, he knocked it out the park, and he had a great match on that card too. I thought he should have won, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I probably should have prefaced this by saying when I put out the votes, a lot of these votes were by wrestlers and not WWE wrestlers. So a lot of the categories are swayed towards independents because that's what we watch.
Good, man.
I think it turned out better because we could just watch the Slammies in 2 weeks for that WWE shit.
Right. And I was about to say, I think that kind of helps because the wrestlers who voted, they know some of these people on these lists personally. So it's
exactly.
It's a real good balance that for the votes that came out.
That's what I tell them. This is your peers, you guys. You can't be mad at me. You have to be mad at your friend that you're in the ring with. Beat that fool up because he voted for somebody else.
you want to know somebody else who could be considered for this match? O'Shea Edwards.
Yeah.
Man, the fact that Ring of Honor hasn't, well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that because I know he in the ROH bubble right now, and they got final battle.
He tweeted that he was in the ring.
You know what? I ain't even gonna say that. I'm gonna shut up. But I think he those promos he did with the sitting at the table thing. Those things are so good, and they're hilarious, bro.
He's funny.
I've been really enjoying that stuff that he's been doing. But I was about to get on ROH, but you know what? I'm gonna wait till Friday.
We're gonna let him have it. You know? It's gonna be up. We're not gonna bury you guys yet. We might. You don't worry. It can come. The breakout star of the year. This man won by 1 vote. Calvin Tankman, the big tank, destroyed on so many shows this year. He dominated in Black Label Pro. He was in GCW. He's recently just started with MLW. He's on a crazy little 2-match run. He's been knocking fools out everywhere. I love Calvin Tankman because, like, when I was younger, I was a chubby kid. And, like, that, when I thought of the wrestler I would be, it was first it was Willie Mack, but now it's Calvin Tankman. Those are, like, my guys because, like, I just relate to them, you know? The big homies. Yeah, this was by 1 vote. And the second place was Hoodfoot Mo Atlas, who had an crazy year. He took so much of his moments that he had, specifically with promos building towards matches, and just executed them so well that I think people were just latching onto him. And that do-rag entrance that he had, I think people just loved that so much, man. People loved it.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen that clip floating around on Twitter, him coming out with the cape.
Yeah, there are some categories in here that are like, it's from that. You know what I mean? It's like you have these viral moments where you did it, and I'm like, I know that do-rag did it, bro. Do-rag killed it. But no, other than that, Hoodfoot has put out some great promos. You guys should go back and listen to the promos he had because he cooked this year, man. He's just like a real nigga. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know if I could say that on this podcast, but this is my podcast. Hoodfoot's a real nigga. He came out with a giant do-rag. Homies was in the back like, what? This is the flyest shit I ever seen, bro. Come on, man. Yeah. And number 3 was my big homie Will Hobbs. 3 big homies: Calvin Tankman, Hoodfoot Mo Atlas, and Will Hobbs, the breakout stars of the year. Well deserved. They all have been killing it. Hoodfoot ain't even on TV, and he was in second place. That's awesome.
Yeah,
you go. I think that just goes to show you how well like he is by his peers. For real.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't say anything, but I forgot he was on the list. Man, I thought Sean Dean had a great year. This year were great. Man, I really hope they sign him and do something with him because I thought he's one of the best guys coming out of dark this year.
Man,
there was a couple of guys, I didn't include him, but Lee Johnson. Oh my God, the match he had with Ben Carter. Woo-wee. Bang hard.
I like how AEW just like low key signed Lee and just low key signed that man out of nowhere. But like I think he was training at Cody and QT Marshall School for a little bit, or he was doing something with them. So like I mean I'm glad to see him there, man. It's gonna be interesting to see like it's like how they weave him into storylines, or if they just try to like keep him as a part of the Nightmare family type thing. But I think they really should start to kind of mold out the TV character that's going to be Lee Johnson.
Right. Yeah, I think those 2 are probably my favorite, besides Will, of the AEW Dark guys that are getting on the come up. I think Sean Dean is getting more shine because he's being featured more on Being the Elite, and you know, like how Being the Elite and like when those worlds start crossing over, you start to get more matches and start to get over more. So hopefully Sean Dean can make something happen in this next year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have the show of the year. This one was a big blowout. I don't know, it's just like there was one show this year that I talked about like once a week for the whole year. Like, you know what's going on. I'll go down the nominees. Show of the year: For the Culture at the Collective, Black Wrestlers Matter. We all love that show. Fight Club Pro Wrestling Summer Jam, Homies, Fight Club Pro Wrestling Push, A Champion is Crowned. There was Paradigm Pro Wrestling Trap Soul, Survivor Series from the WWE, which was, I'm going to talk about this real quick, one of the blackest shows of the year, man. There was a black wrestler in almost every single match of the main show. Isn't that like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of moments, like, we get kind of a lot of these little moments and they're just like shoved in there and we don't really think about it. Just like how women are main eventing Raw and SmackDown like on a daily, or not on a daily, but like on a weekly. And it was like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, these moments happen so fast and we kind of just skip over them. But like, that's a huge moment. Survivor Series, one of the biggest shows of the year. Almost every single match had a person of color in the match. How did that make you feel Phil.
Why say my name?
Rich, that was so bad, bro. That was so bad.
Come on, man. Let me cook. Remember, this is my podcast.
I like Survivor Series. I thought most of the matches were better than I expected. Some of the team matches were kind of odd, like the was odd. But for sure, like I thought my man Big E should have been on the team, but you know, but I mean, I thought like, man, the tag match on that card was amazing. That
was fire.
New Day versus Street Profits. That's like definitely a dream match, and they absolutely killed it.
Yeah, man.
What you think about it, Drew?
The Survivor Series show, like you want to know what's funny? Like probably until like you literally just said that, because like when I initially saw it on there, I was like Survivor Series, like for the Black Wrestling Show of the Year. Then when you look at the card, like damn, like you really like there's a person, there's a person like there's a person of color, multiple people of color on this, like on every card, and I agree with Phil. I think that Street Profits New Day match, it really was a dream match, man, and it was cool to see them two mix it up in there. And I know that meant a lot to each of them respectively, like just being able to share the ring. And man, like you know what, I'm gonna save my MVP take for later. But
definitely, we'll have time for it.
Oh my goodness, man! Like that, dude is like WWE's savior of 2020 as far as like main roster content probably goes. Like just for taking them so many places, man. But you know what, we're gonna say the MVP talk for later. But like, I definitely think the Survivor Series show was it was one of the underrated ones for sure.
It was. Yeah, and then there was Glory Pro, Are You Wrestling Son? Paradigm Pro Wrestling, Same Energy. Eric Stevens Presents Professional Wrestling. And Paris is Bumping were the shows featured mostly, I thought. And the show of the year, of course, I said it was a blowout. For the Culture, my favorite show of the whole year. This card was insane from top to bottom. We were all so happy, tweeting about it, living it, loving it. Only one complaint I have about the whole thing is Corona ruined it, and I wasn't there. So,
yeah, man,
it's legit the only complaint I had about it. Damn, imagine if we all were there. Oh shit,
bro! The in-ring work on that show was unreal. I'm telling you, you were like. I think I tweeted this out like as the show was going on. Like AR Fox is like really one of those dudes that's like really like I kind of like throw him in that same bracket with like Fred Yehi. Like as far as guys who really should be on the nationally televised show, but you know what, Fred's gonna be on Final Battle, so let me know what
ROH again. There you go.
like AR Fox is definitely a dude I think should definitely be on somebody's TV show, like in some way or some form, man. Like he that like and just seeing him being in there with Too Cold Scorpion, we could go on a whole rant about Too Cold, but like
that's a fact.
Like AR Fox, man, like I definitely think that he should definitely get his flowers one of these days as far as like him getting that big contract. And not necessarily saying that's something he wants, but I'm just saying that's something I want to see. But you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely far and away one of my favorite shows this year. Man, like just Trish Adora versus Suge was fantastic. What else was on that card? Calvin versus O'Shea was on that card, right?
Remember the tag match with 40 Acres, Culture Season, and Top Flight? Oh my goodness, they all went crazy.
Yeah, Lee versus ACH was on that card too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was, man.
AJ and Dez was in there. That was oh my god, I gotta watch that show again. That was crazy. Man. And yeah, so the second show, best show of the year, we have to give it up to our homie Billy Dixon. He put together this show called Paris is Burning, and it was phenomenal. Everyone loved it. It broadcasted on IWTV, and he just did something different and unique and showcased a different type of wrestling. Did either one of you guys see that? Did you see that show, Drew?
I caught clips of it. I didn't get a chance to see the whole show, but I definitely saw a bunch of clips of it on social media. He brought something different to the table, man. I think that's what it's all about. And he spotlighted LGBTQ wrestlers, and he put a lot of spotlight on wrestlers that really don't get the chance to get booked on most of these promotions. And you know, I think you can debate, you know, whatever reason you want to put upon some of these promoters as to why some of these wrestlers aren't getting booked, but you know, that's a whole different conversation in its own right, for real. But like he presented something different, man, and I think that's what you need in professional wrestling. You need something different, and you need something to stand out, and they definitely stood out with Paris is bumping.
Yeah, man, I think coming out of everything with Primetime this year, I thought Billy came out of that looking like one of the real professionals coming out of that. Yeah, I mean, he kind of kept the flag waving with this event and going like, nope, we're still here. We're still trying to do inclusive shows. Like, the mission didn't change.
I was actually where the Black Wrestlers Matter show rank as far as votes go.
Black Wrestlers Matter was pretty up there too. Not as much as For the Culture, just like, ouch, it just kind of blew everybody away. The third favorite show was the Fight Club Pro Wrestling Crowning of a Champion, which crowned Trish Adora as the Pan-African World Diaspora Champ. You know, phenomenal show. You should definitely go and check that out. Oh, we all love that title. That title is phenomenal.
I'm gonna throw out a hot take. Black Wrestlers Matter was the best show of that weekend. It was on the same weekend as NXT TakeOver 30. I stand by what I said. It was the best show of that weekend.
Definitely. I love the Black Wrestlers Matter show. I think we need to. I'm going to start promoting it more because I think more people need to see it. It's probably slid under the radar, a little more than it should have. You know.
But you know what? I think that show was really important because it's specifically the timing of it. Like I think we were like probably like a couple months removed from the George Floyd having his life taken. Like I feel like that was like something that was like really, really, really important to take place during that time, specifically for those within professional wrestling. And like, of course, we know that, for the culture was supposed to take place probably a month before that went down. So I definitely think the Black Wrestlers Matter show was very important.
It was
like
right on time.
Not the kind of but not to kind of dive off too, but like I kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this about Jackson Riker coming up back on TV because right like I don't think it was too long after George Floyd that he sent out that tweet in support of that man who shall not be named on this podcast. And it was just these are grown ass adults, bro. People aren't stupid. They know what they're doing. When you send stuff out like that, you can claim it wasn't malicious or it was of no ill intent. But come on, man, this is a grown ass man. He knows what he's doing when he sent that tweet out, specifically knowing what the world was going through at that moment, specifically black people was going through at that moment. And to see how kind of WWE has just gone about this, how they kind of go about most of the stuff that they deal with as far as that's just real pressing is kind of, keep them off TV for a few months and then forget about it. And that's kind of how they always go about certain things. So it's kind of messed up to see how you can do something like that, right? And then, just know, I mean, I'm sure some will argue that he quote unquote paid his repercussions by being off TV for this period of time. But like, still, man, I just think the fact that he was able to put something out there like that at the time that he did, knowing what he was doing, and then still to come back and, he's not on TV, but, he's back on their program. And then I like saying that ain't just sit right with me, man. I know it didn't sit right with a whole bunch of other people.
Still seems like it's far removed, but Hogan is back and around. So I mean, it's not surprising. Mm-hmm. It's just,
Drake,
man.
Now.
Yeah.
He's a clown. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. He is a clown, bro.
Mm-hmm. That thing that Josiah tweeted about somebody trying to preach to him that the Proud Boys aren't racist, and it's like, he's talking about Drake. It's just like, yo, this guy's in the locker room just preaching this shit too. Like, oh god.
Bro, and then you wanna know what's crazy? I don't think he's just a referee. Like, I think he has like an important position in NXT. Right. Like, I know he's not just a referee, and I'm talking about like that's like a fact. He's not just a referee. Like, he does like some behind the scenes stuff. I think he might do like agent matches. He's in there. He's in the mix. Yeah, for sure. He's in there, bro. Like, and it's kind of crazy to know that he's in that position, and the way that he thinks it. Like him being outed for being one of those supporters of the Proud Boys or being linked to him or whatever it may be, and the fact that that's not addressed or that's not like. Somebody ain't checked that. It's like it just really goes to show you, man, like that, like just how
It's different.
It's different, bro. That's what
it's different.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I mean, we know how Brian feels. I refuse to call him Road Dogg. We know how Brian feels. He's out there too. And I mean, it comes all the way from up top, right? Because we know
exactly.
We know Vince and like a bunch of other guys. We know where they stand on politics. So I mean,
we're the dumb ones at this point. I know. I get it, Phil. I know.
I mean, it just, man. I don't want to make it just a WWE thing. It's a business thing. Most of the guys at the top of these corporations and companies are, that's how they feel. They are in that vein, but it just strikes you away when you see all of these companies putting out all of these messages when Black Lives Matter really, really peaked at that time. And it's like, okay, well, did y'all believe that? Or is this just corporate speaking? Somebody just wrote this for y'all and y'all posted it on Twitter or whatever. It's like, man, keep that energy if that's what it is. And, if you're gonna reprimand these guys, then reprimand them. And I mean, it wasn't even anything like you made him come out and say anything. He never even made a statement. He just popped back on TV.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And I'm like mentioning going back on what Phil said, how some of the companies, and not to make it a WWE thing, but and it is not just a WWE thing, but I think WWE is just the most obvious thing to look at right here. I'm telling you, bro, if they didn't have Kofi and Big E, they would have been lost as far as like following George Floyd and just the rise of the Black Lives Matter move, because Kofi and Big E, man, like they came out and they led the charge, like showing that stuff on Fox, just putting on the armbands of people's names that had their lives taken by police brutality. Like they really like kind of gave WWE that sigh of relief. Like, okay, we got people here who can kind of take the charge on and show us where to go. Because if they didn't have Big E and Kofi, man, to kind of lead that, oof.
If they didn't, they would have been giving all the credit to Orton for saying what he said.
Right.
That would have looked really weird.
But do you remember when Mr. Orton was on Twitch?
Yeah, we remember. Never gonna forget Randy Orton, don't you think? You could hit all the arcade. You can dance with New Day to some hip hop. You can do all of it. I'm never gonna forget, my brother. Greatest match of all time, my ass. That was this year too. I was like, that match happened this year? What happened to Edge? Oh, he got hurt. That's right.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it was this year, man.
So you talking about that Randy Orton thing, man, like him being on Twitter. Wrestling is quite the place, man. I'm telling you.
It is. I mean, when you really look at it, and I know this from the other side, I mean, I'm sure you guys know it. And, some readers and, I'm sure any wrestlers that are listening, like, they know this. If we ever do certain things, if we ever act like certain things that they do, we cannot do that. And it's just so easy to, push us out and go, oh, well, this guy was this or he was that. But, they can come out and act a whole fool, and it's it's nothing. Like, they could just come back and work like nothing changed.
Right. Lars Sullivan.
Oh my.
It's wild.
but see, the thing about Lars, bro, and I ain't gonna spend too much time on him, but he made himself look like a dumbass, and he did that to himself. Like him being, and we could touch on it. The fact that he was from the stuff that I've seen, he was just very against people being gay and stuff like that, and for him to be in a film with of the same likeness, it's like you really kind of make yourself like a dumbass right there. You set yourself up to get clowned. But like with the Orton thing, like just imagine if a black wrestler was on a Twitch stream or a podcast, right, and they said like something like cracker or something like that. Can you imagine the blowback that would be from that? But then Orton can go in here and say the N-word. And then you use it in a way that we would use it towards each other, but still, regardless of the fact he shouldn't be saying it, but like the fact that it's kind of like chill to the wayside, whatever, and I don't think anybody forgot about it, but him coming out and doing this whole press run about him understanding Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, that's all good, but we ain't forgetting, brother, and
we ain't gonna never forget.
and another category for dumbass of the year, Chris Jericho.
Oh my god!
the fall from grace that this man has had. No, Phil and Red. Do y'all remember when the Dark Side of the Ring stuff came out and everybody was like, Jericho got to be one of the greatest of all time, like one of the greatest to ever do it. This man is having a breakout year, carrying AEW as in the main event scene, and then just the quick turnaround that you can have the viewpoint you can have somebody just from them saying some dumb shit. It's crazy to me because I was one of those people, exact people last year. Jericho was the man. He carrying AEW on the main event scene, legend, one of the greatest to ever do it. Now I can't even it's hard for me to still view him in that same limelight just because I know how he thinks and I know how he views, and that kind of makes you think like how does Jericho view me if he knew me?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I really feel bad for the black wrestlers that got to work with him that probably want to carry his ass on social media, but they can't say nothing because it's going to create unnecessary drama that they don't need within the workplace. So it's kind of it's weird, man. But like Jericho, he's definitely up there on my list for the dumbasses of the year.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you know, the thing that just bugs me with Jericho, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, when you say things, then people are done with you altogether. And I never felt that way, because, I mean, like when, again, this is back when Black Lives Matter was like really jumping off, and it was all on the news, the protesting was happening. And I remember, like, that's when he did the All Lives Matter thing on Instagram, and he tried to do it where nobody would see him. And I called it out. I was one of the first people that called it out, and I got blocked. I'm like, oh, that's what we're on? All right, then we're done with Jericho then, because I actually tried to have a conversation with you. I'm not trying to just X you out or cancel you. Right. But if it's just block off GP, then okay, cool, we're done with you. So when I watched the rest of this stuff unravel all year, I'm like, I've been told y'all about Homeboy.
Man made a fool of himself, bro. I'm telling you, a fool.
Big chump status.
Ray, let's go ahead and get to the next category.
Yeah, because I was thinking of some other fools to write on, but we're gonna let y'all have like Flip Gordon and TJP. We're just gonna let you guys go today. This is not the podcast for that. Next up, we got the best promo of the year, best promo person of the year. We had Suge D, Hoodfoot Mo Atlas, Darius Carter, Darius Lockhart, O'Shea Edwards, Big E, Mojo the Voodoo King, MVP, Street Profits, Max Caster, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Shane Taylor, AC Mack, Jonathan Gresham, Frontman Ja, AJ Gray, Trevor Eon, Moose, Leo Rush, and The New Day of Kofi and Woods. This year was pretty good for we're in pandemic, so people are just filming their own promos, filming their own things. And this year was great for that. Suge D had a bunch of great videos kind of talking about the rest, talking about matches, but also just like spitting game and, you know, talking about what he's going to do post AEW. O'Shea Edwards, like you said earlier, Andrew, had a bunch of amazing video promos that he shot himself. Big E has had a bunch of great promos, just trying to find his footing away from the New Day. MVP, he's had an insane run. He's put so many people over with his promos. The unsung hero of WWE, hands down. Who were some of your favorite promo people this year, Phil?
I don't think he's on the list, but I thought El O'Neill was doing some phenomenal promos this year.
He got some write-in votes.
Yeah, some of his promos for Fight Club Pro were just incredible. Like some of his vignettes he was doing with like the American Horror stuff is cool.
Tremendous. Yeah, I like that shit.
Yeah, Baron Black's, I don't think he's on the list either, but man, that promo that he did on people that were buying up toilet paper during the, like when COVID first hit,
and
it went viral, like that was that was hilarious.
Yo, that other promo got him booked in AEW, the one to be Sean Spears' partner.
Yes,
he cooked. Spears. Yeah, he cooked.
Yeah,
but oh man, I think that's kind of like I mean, you could throw Sasha in there. I think she had some promos this year that were good. I think that's all I got.
What you got, Drew?
Man, you know what? I'm for my pick on this one. I'm gonna go with somebody who was doing something a little bit different this year as far as promo wise. I'm gonna go with Trevor Eon because because him doing the little whole vampire, not little, but y'all know how I talk. Like him doing the him doing the vampire thing. I feel like that's so hard to pull off, especially in this era of wrestling that we're in. Like I think we're, as far as on-screen product goes, people are kind of past the supernatural type thing, but like the fact that he's doing it and pulling it off and making it look good, like as far as like it's not like some lazy thing like him, like recording it like just with a green screen, like this like an actual green screen that you can see the green on the back of, like it's not him with the the vampire ambiance with the candles in the background, him speaking with the mannerisms and moving a certain way. Like I feel like he really doesn't get the attention that he should get for the promos that he's putting on, man. And I feel like he's like living the gimmick, and I think that's very far and few, especially in today. Like, cause I mean, like it's like, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want nobody to take that in the wrong way. Like I think it's very easy to not very easy, but I think it's just more relatable to just be yourself, as a wrestler. It's very easy to do that, just to be who you are, and you can get a lot of traction by doing that. But I think it's real different for him to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go play the role of a vampire and I'm gonna make it work, and he's making it work, and like I hope that he starts getting more attention on some of these promos that he's doing, man, and these videos that he's putting together. I think he's doing some real good stuff. And then you can, of course I'm gonna throw O'Shea out there again for the seat at the table thing. Like you got this 6 foot plus grown man telling you get the hell out of this dinner table. You like, hey bruh, I ain't got no problem with you. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. But can I get that chicken breast though before I leave? Like that's all I got to say. But nah, man, yeah, Trevor Ion, I definitely voted for him for this category.
Yeah, Trevor put out a bunch of great videos. He's always working so hard with his presentation and to separate himself, and the videos are always great. He just definitely needs more shine. But coming through, number 1 best promo of the year. I talked about him a little earlier. Just separated himself with these videos because he's a real nigga. Hoodfoot Mo Atlas is the best promo of the year, bro. Isn't that amazing?
Double champ.
Hoodfoot Mo Atlas just put together an incredible run. Not and beyond that, I didn't talk much about it. But in the ring, the dude can go. He's big. He hits hard. He's just like someone that is next up and is going to get the looks. Best promos of the year, man. He had a great year.
Man, yeah, what I'm saying from that, of course, he is his promo ability, but like again, like I said earlier, he must be well liked by his peers, man. I'm telling you, he's liked by his peers, man. And I don't want that to be like some discredit him, because I'm pretty sure he's doing everything that he's getting voted for. But like it just goes to show you, man, you a good dude to people, you a good person to people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They go to bat for you.
And then number 2 was a tie. It was Suge D and O'Shea Edwards tied for second best promo. Both of them, you guys have both talked about them. Incredible.
Yeah.
Great. The best.
Somebody else that I think kind of got, I think he's underrated in general is Gresham. I thought he had some great promos this year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You talking about the ones he was shooting for, like the foundation and like the cinematic type, man.
The suit and everything.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, because I think people try to critique Gresham for his promo ability at times, and they kind of like stick him within just the technical wrestler aspect. But like, I really feel like with those promos that Phil just mentioned, he really did kind of close that door as far as people saying, oh, where's the promo ability at? And he really showed you, hey, you want the promo ability, here you go.
Yeah, definitely. Phenomenal. Yeah, John Gresham had a great year, man. Just like those promos, he won the Pure title. He just like did exactly what it was. He did it exactly what it needed to be done to get people to know like John Gresham's a real fucking deal. I know that he's a real deal, but like he completed the package with the belt and the promos. It was just like, all right, this is it. This guy's the real deal.
Turn on Jay Lethal. Turn on Jay Lethal. We need
it's
it.
happening,
we
bro. I just
turn on Jay Lethal.
They Jonathan Gresham tweeted out a picture of him and Gresham, and I responded, "Oh, you guys are just gonna make this feud go all the way into the next final battle. And Jonathan Gresham liked it, so I'm like, yo, come on, man, why y'all playing like? We gotta wait a whole year for this fight.
They already had a bunch of great matches together.
Yeah, definitely.
Already. So I can only imagine how good it's gonna be with the dynamic switch. Because I don't know, like I can't see in this feud if they were to end up. I feel like Jonathan Gresham got to be the heel. He got to be. So. He does. He gotta be because with the whole foundation thing, man. Like that's like I'm telling you, bro. That's some like heel stuff right there. Like him having the dudes in the background. I think it's Rhett Titus. Who else he got with him? He got Tracy Williams.
Rhett Titus. That's it. The four of them.
They need to screw Fred up, but you know what? I'm gonna let Ring of Honor let it play out.
Man, you got heat with Ring of Honor today. What they did?
I got beef with ROH, man. It took me too long to retweet my Tava interview. I ain't like that.
I forgot, man. They put you over. You can't be talking about that.
They ain't do it when I asked them. They did it when they wanted to do it.
Like they so busy. Retweet that shit, Ring of Honor. Come on, man. Y'all on a bubble.
Oh my goodness, man. Let me stop playing for they denial.
No, for real. We're joking, Ring of Honor. We all love you so much, man. Come on, why y'all playing? No, we love some ROH.
We ordered the pay-per-view, man.
Exactly. Fine. We just talked about ROH in a podcast like 2 weeks ago. We love Ring of Honor around here. We are Ring of Honor boys.
Hilarious,
and then MVP was number 3. I think I already said that. He cooked. He turned Cedric Alexander's career around. Like from here, it's only up. I think hopefully.
I ain't mean to jump the gun on this one, Reg, but the next category, if the Hurt Business ain't win this, Reg, I'm telling you, Reg and Phil, I got beef with whoever ain't vote for the Hurt Business for the next category. Reg, go ahead to the honors, man.
All right, the moment of the year, Black Wrecellence moment of the year. First was Sasha Banks rules all. I just kind of like, if you had a Sasha Banks moment, just pick. She had like 20 of them. If I would have named them all, it would have just been her category right here. Moment of the year, just Sasha Banks moments. There's 10 of them. There's Star Wars. There's all kinds of shit. She killed it. Next up was Keith Lee, double champ for the culture at the Collective. Bianca Belair's Royal Rumble, insane. The Hurt Business, all of it. Everything that they did, they killed it. ACH returns to the Indies. Leo Rush returns to the Indies. Jonathan Gresham wins the Pure Championship. Chris Bay wins the X Division Championship. Rich Swann wins the Impact World Championship. The Rascals leave Impact. New Day splits up. Leon Ruff wins the North American Championship. Top Flight versus Young Bucks on Dynamite. Hoodfoot's do-rag entrance, like I mentioned earlier. And last was that was a moment, man. We loved it. Trish Adora winning the Pan-African World Diaspora Championship. And a lot of great moments. Andrew's already said what his moment was. The Hurt Business had a crazy year. We just been glued to everything that they did. They were part of carrying WWE for a while too, while the ladies were killing it. Like they were the other half. That's like, this is the only reason we're watching this show, you guys. The rest of this shit is trash. Whatever happened to Raw Underground?
But you want to know what's really crazy just about the Hurt Business thing, man? Like and not saying that anybody else in the Hurt Business didn't have anything to do with this, but man, I'm telling dog, MVP literally came in and elevated Lashley. Shelton. What the hell was Shelton Benjamin doing before MVP came in? What was Cedric doing before MVP came in? What was Apollo doing before MVP came in? What was Ricochet doing before MVP came in? What was Mustafa Ali doing before Ricochet came in? I mean, before MVP came in. Like, dude, this dude literally came in and in 8 months elevated like 7 different talents of color, man. Seven, and then they got him involved with the Street Profits, and he enhanced them with promos.
Everybody,
already like I'm telling you, bro. It's like,
look what he's doing with the new. They don't need to be elevated, but look what he's doing with the New Day now. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm telling you, man. And like him, like I think we all have always wanted to see more from Cedric Alexander, but I feel like it just was never the right setting. Like it was just never. It just didn't come together. But like you can see it just over the last couple of weeks on Raw. Like you can see the intensity turning up. He's starting to speak with a little bit more bass in his voice, and he's getting comfortable with MVP around. I'm telling you, bro. Like MVP is legit. the MVP of WWE from, well, I would just say, I'm gonna say the men's division. I'm gonna say that because I think Sasha she been holding it down for the women's division. WWE speaking, but like she's MVP, man, like as far as elevating talents, he been doing to elevate more people than WWE creative this year. Yeah. So like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's real cool to see, man. The one thing I don't hope happens out of this is like they start simply relying on MVP just to elevate every time. You know what I'm saying? Like they be like, oh, we don't know what to do with this guy.
They just group them all together.
MVP. You know what I'm saying? Because like, and I'm pretty sure he could do it, but like, I don't want them to become that reliant on MVP because then y'all gonna burn him out and y'all gonna make him unspecial, not special.
Exactly. Right. What'd you think, Phil? What was your moment of the year?
Man, this was a tough one to pick for me because I think Trish Adora winning the championship was a big deal, and just what that title means is a big deal. And man, I was so happy for Rich, man. So it was hard for me. Like Rich winning was just such a big deal. Just everything he went through, and just where he came from with WWE, the injury. It just was a great story, and I thought that was one of the better feuds this year. Swan versus Eric Young. I think I picked Rich winning the title.
That was a great moment. But sorry, Andrew and Phil.
Don't do it, Reg. Don't do it, Reg. Don't do it, Reg. Hey, Phil. If you say what I don't want to hear, Phil, just leave. Just leave. We're gonna leave him high and dry in the middle of the podcast.
Oh man! No, you know what? It was just such a special moment for us. It had to be the one. Trish Adora winning. Of course. Winning the championship was far and away the winner. Everybody that was the moment, man. It was just like that's so important.
Yeah. That moment that Trish had, that was great, man.
Especially for the people that are voting here. They like my clientele is you know what the deal is.
But no, man, I got a special place for Trish, man, in my wrestling heart, man. And that was my first ever video interview that I ever did. And she made me feel so like chill and relaxed. You know what I'm saying? She's the cool as hell. And I will forever be thankful towards her for that. Like she was very cool when she didn't have to be. So I was like, always shout out to Trish. I always love her, man. Always. But you want to know something that could have been in this category that could have been a nice write-in? Was Naomi's return at the Royal Rumble.
Somebody did actually write that in. Bro,
and how that Twitter video got 1 million views and comments from Keke Palmer, and WWE was like, oh well.
She's a dancer. We just don't know. Like, can she talk or what? Bruh. I'm gonna kill you guys. Stop this. Fucking Naomi, so sad, dude. But yeah, Trish Adora, number one in the world, number one in our heart. She just her charisma. She just like you said for Hoodfoot, Drew. Just like everyone just likes her so much because she's so great. It's just like you want to see her win. At that point, that's how it is about a lot of these people. I just want to see them win, like however they can, just win, help.
Yeah.
And then the second moment was again for the culture at the Collective. That was a big for me. That's all I've been talking about all year. And then number 3 was Keith Lee, double champ for moment of the year. Andrew is out of here of the podcast. I'm sorry, you guys. Like I didn't do the votes, man. You guys wanted this. We love the hurt business.
Everybody's deserving, man. But you know, we got beef going forward. I don't like this disrespect, man, or her business, man, like these dudes. But no, I get it. Reg's clientele, as he says.
You know what they want. Half of them probably don't even fucking watch Raw, you know. They're like WWE. I'm chill. I'm like, all right, you know.
Yeah, I was just about to say that probably.
So, and then next up we have the move of the year. There was a lot of amazing moves. A lot of amazing wrestlers doing crazy stuff. We had AJ Gray's BBC, the big black clothesline. It's hilarious. AJ Gray's Blue Eyes White Dragon. Trish Adora, Lariat Tubman, just off the name, that's what it is. DeAndre Jackson's pop-up German suplex is phenomenal. Montez Ford's frog splash, we all have been in amazement watching it every time he does it. Every time someone makes a gift of it, we're all just like, oh my God, this guy's the guy. It's like we all think he's the one just off his frog splash. That's how good his frog splash is. Calvin Tankman's Tankman Driver. We got Private Party. They have Silly String and Gin and Juice. Timmy Lou Retton's Moonsault's phenomenal. Leo Rush, The Final Hour. He has like 10 moves that are awesome. Bianca Belair's KOD. Calvin Tankman also has that elbow that he murders people with. Big Swole's Dirty Dancing. The Spirit Bomb from Keith Lee. Big Homie Spinebuster, Will Hobb. ACH Brainbuster. Nolo Katana's Flipping Underhook Overdrive, which is insane. If you've never seen that, please look it up. It's crazy. Christian Casanova's Dirty Diana, Trevor Eon's The Scar Maker, Don't Die Miles Shooting Star Press, Myron Reed, he runs from the outside into the ring with the diamond. It's crazy. Just watch it. Chris Bay has a triple C cutter. He's coming off the ropes, jumping, diving, all kinds of shit. These guys are insane. This is the best crop of talent I've ever seen. Trey Lamar's Froggy Elbow and Jaden's Outside In Flatliner. This is great. All these moves are crazy. They're gifts all the time. Calvin Tankman murders people. Private Party does crazy shit. What was your favorite move of the year? And
man, I was in a tough spot right here because Trisha Dore's Lariat Tubman. I feel like that's like one of the coolest names,
right?
for a move. But I was like stuck in between that and Myron's flying cut over the top rope because that looked like that visual is like legit crazy. And I was I remember when I interviewed Myron not too long ago. I asked him, I was like, how was that not your finisher? Like, how was that not the end to the match? Like, I don't get that. But I think the fact that Trish like is,
I don't get that. That's hilarious.
But like, it's the fact that like I think it's the power that she hits it with. Honestly,
right.
Like it's like she ain't taking it easy on nobody with that lariat. So I think it's really a toss up between them. But I voted for Trisha Dore's Lariat Tubman.
Phil.
I'm pretty sure I voted Larry Tubman too. Man, I'm surprised the Eclipse wasn't on there.
Oh, the Eclipse. I'm sorry, Ember. Ember.
Ember Moon.
Oh, Ember.
But you know, Ember been gone for most of the. I mean, she been gone for most of the year.
She had a couple write-ins for like Wrestler of the Year and promo.
Shame on you, Reg. Shame on you, Reg.
I'm sorry. I'm crying. Yeah, no, I said that For the Culture was the biggest lead of votes, and I was lying. Actually, this was the biggest lead. Trisha Dore's Larry Tubman got like all the votes, pretty much.
There you go.
Just based off the name, people are like, that's the move. Trish Adora's Larry Tubman, 2 awards in a row for Trish Adora Moment of the Year and Move of the Year. The best. We love you, Trish. You're phenomenal.
So Trish and Hoodfoot tied right now, right?
They are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. Okay. Second was Montez Ford's Frog Splash because
oh my goodness,
shit's crazy. It's between Montez and Leo for me. Both those Frog Splashes are woo-wee. Them boys like up there.
Look, bro, we rocking with Leo, right? But this dude Montez legit jumps out of the camera frame, bro.
Crazy.
Like he jumps out of the camera frame. That is crazy, bro.
It's pretty. It's pretty wild.
Bro, this man literally has a highlight every week of them replaying this Frog Splash. Like his is insane, bro. Hey, but Leo,
he's out of there.
Shout out to the challenge, Reg. One more time. Shout out to the challenge.
One more time, Leo. We love the challenge, bro. It's our favorite show. We don't like Raw. We don't like Dynamite. We like the challenge.
Oh my goodness.
And then third place.
I'm about to say MTV, man. They got hook my man Reg over some sponsors. We
Word, come on, man. I love the challenge. I stay loving the challenge. I be pirating the challenge. I probably shouldn't say that part, but look, I'll be watching the show MTV. We homies.
You definitely ain't getting that endorsement now. You don't fucked up, man.
I'm gonna edit that out. Edit point 59, some shit.
The people at MTV was probably cheesing like hell up until you
said
that.
Look, I'm gonna have to edit out all the MTV shit and all the Ring of Honor shit from you, bro. I'm just trying to protect everybody out here, man.
Oh my goodness, man.
And then third place was AJ Gray, Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is a phenomenal. His version of the Emerald Flosion. Pretty sick. And then next category was the next up. There's a bunch of phenomenal. I don't know if you really call them rookies. A lot of them aren't even rookies. It's just like this how this shit works. You go viral. Like some wrestlers are wrestling for 10 years, and then they're like, oh, this is a new wrestler. Like, no, I've been wrestling for 10 years. I'm not new, but you know, like that's just how this shit works. Like Suge D isn't next up. He's been I remember watching him in Chikara in like 2009 or like it's been a long time, you know.
Yeah, but I said. They just seem like a category of people that's just gaining more attention. That's all that is.
Exactly. Gaining more attention. That's exactly what it was. We had Don't Die Miles, Christian Robinson, Red Velvet, Jaden, Big Game Leroy, Nolo Catano, Queen Aminata, Eric Royal, Freddie Hudson, Mike Outlaw, Jocelyn Navarro, Baron Black, Brooke Valentine, Mysterious Q, Aaliyah James, Sahara 7, Zay Washington, Billy Dixon, Timmy Lou Retton, Mr. Grimm, Ashton Starr, David Ali, Frontman Ja, Trevor Eon, Zach Mason, Chase Holiday, Il O'Neill, Ice Williams, Jordan Blade, Xavier Faraday. This is a packed category right here. A lot of these people have impressed this year. You know, even with the pandemic, they have done some crazy things. Who was your favorite of the year, Phil?
This was a tough one to pick, man.
Very tough.
I mean, Il O'Neill is up there for me. Like, I'm a big fan of his. And when I interviewed him earlier, that's still one of my favorite interviews that I've done. Like, I ended up cutting a lot of what we talked about out because it ended up so long. Like, we really sat for like almost an hour talking, and I left a lot of stuff out there.
Right. That was a great interview. Let me just throw that out there. That was a great interview.
Yeah, can't say enough good things about Il O'Neill. Man, this is tough, man.
Tough one. This is the most surprising category for sure.
Shoot. Like, I mean, man, I really like Queen Aminata as well. I'm gonna just go with my pick Il because he's on the top of my head.
That's the one. Andrew?
For it's like I shout out the big homie Eric Royal.
Shout
out to him, man. Yes. That's good peoples right there, man. I mess with Eric, good dude, man. But I'm for this category, I'm probably gonna end up going with so I voted for Aaliyah James, right?
Phenomenal.
But I was kind of going back and forth between her and Il O'Neill, like as far as like who I think is gonna be next up. But I'm gonna say Aaliyah James. And for real, I think she got one of those people that got like really all the intangibles, kind of be a star.
She got it.
But like dude, I don't think NXT UK is the spot. I think she need to be NXT in the US. I think that's gonna be the better spot for her to get more attention. Definitely. I'm telling you, but she got everything they need. I'm telling you, like just I think I don't like. Do y'all watch NXT UK?
Sometimes I've seen it.
I don't watch it consistent enough.
Yeah, not consistently at all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think that NXT US will probably be the better spot for her as far as breaking out and being that next top black star over the next year or so. But yeah, it was a decision for me between her and Il O'Neill.
Right. Yeah, just like Phil was like, this is how everybody was. This is probably the most variety of votes between all of the categories. Like people weren't, you know, they didn't know. It was all over the place. But in a big, huge surprise, coming in first place, Black Wrecellence next up, Red Velvet out of AEW is next up, what people are saying. Ain't that something?
I didn't.
Yeah, that guy shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's me too. I was like, wait, Red Velvet's out here killing them.
But, I mean, she deserves it. I mean, definitely. I definitely think she has been one of the standouts this year on AEW Dark, and she's done well in the matches she's had on Dynamite as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like I know she was kind of like in a little something, which it seems like now her and Brandy Rose are kind of on the same side, I guess, with the Jade Cargill. Man, you should do Jade Cargill in here for real. But like,
yeah, had like 3 appearances.
Bro, I'm telling.
She is next up though.
Bro, I'm saying, she looks like a superstar, bro.
No, she looked like a bunch of things. You're right. She is fine, boy. Look, we're talking. Look, we talk respectfully around here. She is 10 out of 10. I will tell you that, boy. Jeez Louise, she is definitely next up, man. Man.
Jade, if you listen, he trying to shoot us.
I am not, Jade. I'm just talking respectfully. I think you're going to be a great talent. I can't wait to see you between those ropes.
There we go.
Man, I think Josh C could have easily been next up. Like, I think Josh,
definitely,
like, he's dope. I think JDX is dope. Man, yeah, this was a real tough vote for me.
Reg, I can't stand you, Brad. Talking about
what
I see what you're trying to do. you can't say that now here, man. I'm telling you. See, stuff like that's why I don't tweet. Y'all
right, exactly. No, look, I see right through it, bro. I'm gonna see right through
it. you can't make no type of comments out here.
Not at all. That is funny, bro. Second place, Andrew Thompson said Aaliyah James. Phenomenal. She's set up. I think you're 100% on the money. Send her to NXT America. She's just gonna do better there. That's just how it is. And then in third place, great competitor who had a pretty quiet sleeper great year, Mike Outlaw, an independent wrestler out there who had a bunch of phenomenal matches, had a great match with Lee Moriarty for Glory Pro that you should go see. Mike Outlaw, number 3, next up. I'm happy for that. That's great, man. But yeah, Red Velvet, like AEW Dark is the show that's just launching all these people. Like, if it wasn't for AEW, there'd be so many wrestlers that just didn't work this year. WWE didn't give as much opportunities for new wrestlers that have never been seen as AEW did. AEW's every week putting on a wrestler. Like, I'm seeing wrestlers that I've been seeing for 10 years on the independent scene, and then they're on AEW Dark on TV for their first time ever. And that's just like, you can't, that's amazing. That's like the best thing that has happened for sure. Yeah, Red Velvet killed it. Happy for her. Next up, we got the Wrestling Fed of the Year. WWE, boo. AEW, Impact, MLW, Fight Club Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Andrew, Parallel Pro Wrestling, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, Glory Pro, Action Wrestling, AAW, and AEW Dark. I put feels different. If you know, you know, because if you know, you know. It's dark. It's emphasis on the dark. If you didn't know.
Oh yeah, I called that.
So you knew.
but yeah, man. Hey, you know what, bro? Like, I mean, I know AEW Dark is just a show, but hey,
you know, you see, if you know, you know.
I mean, you could just say AEW, but I mean,
it's different.
It's different, bro.
It's different.
Like no, but you know what? I think Fight Club was poised to have a really good year, you know, but till the pandemic came and, you know, derailed a lot of people's plans. I feel like they was really on pace to put on especially coming off the big Trisha Dora win, and I think they had a follow-up show after that.
They did.
But like, man, I think they were one of those promotions that was really on the up and up. But man, like AEW Dark, man, like
AEW Dark it's put all my people on, that's for sure. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, Will Hobbs wouldn't be on. Sorry, Powerhouse. How I said Will Hobbs so many times, I have to go through and edit all of that out. The big homie's gonna be pissed. I'm kidding. His name is Will Hobbs, and I'm just kidding. Powerhouse Hobbs would have not been on AEW Dynamite if it wasn't for AEW Dark. You know what I mean? Like, you could just trace that back to so many wrestlers that wouldn't. Top Flight, like, all these people would have not gotten the opportunity if it wasn't for that damn YouTube show. And we appreciate you, Tony Khan. We love AEW here. It's not like the ROH hate that Andrew has. It's nothing but love over here.
You're trying to stop me from doing interviews. I see what you do. I see what you do.
Send those interviews over to here. You know, I'll interview white wrestlers too. Ring of Honor. I don't care. I'll interview Vincent. I don't. You know, if you want me to, it's cool.
Hey, bro. Yeah, man. Y'all a fool on here, man. I'm telling you, y'all crazy.
What was your Fed of the year, Phil?
Man. So I think Fight Club Pro probably deserves it just because, man, we need promotions that are owned by black people, and the bookers are black, and that the stories are black, and man, it's led by a black woman at the moment. Like,
it's
so
us, by us.
Yes, I think it deserves it. I mean, I would say AEW's up there as well. Just everything they've managed to do in just a year has been insane. You could make your bones about their diversity in some ways. There aren't any black people in their world title picture, which needs to change.
It's just like the NXT title.
Yes, but I mean, like you were alluding to, like no other big company has done more for black independent wrestlers than AEW. And just getting the Impact move and making big moves this year, AEW deserves the credit for that as well.
Phenomenal. Yeah, the winner, number 1 Fed of the year, actually, thank God, Fight Club Pro. It just had to happen. Yep. It's just the one. We're going to get behind them. We're going to shoot them to the moon. We're going to do all the things we can to make sure it is what it is. They had the moment of the year, like a bunch of things just been connected to them. They had a bunch of great shows. They've been putting black wrestlers on since they began. We love Fight Club Pro. They're phenomenal. Number 2 is Paradigm Pro Wrestling, who has had a bunch of cards filled with everyone I've talked about, not only on this podcast, on the Black Wrecellence 500, on Twitter. They put so many wrestlers on. It's insane. They had a show, Trap Soul. Have to shout out my homie, Jay Rose, a phenomenal, one of the best people in wrestling right now. What he's doing with them, with IWTV, he's the best. He's the best. The young guy is just so cool. I love him. I want him to succeed. I want him to be here helping everybody out, continuing to do what he does. So shout out to them. And number 3, I actually love all 3 of these because it's very fitting. Impact Wrestling, they just gave us that world title match, and they deserve more, man. We're gonna watch Impact. Like, we want you to succeed. Like, thanks for that fucking main event. That was incredible.
Yeah. I definitely think Impact deserves a lot more credit than people give them. I've said this many times on Twitter, but I think they have the best women's division in the country. Yeah. I think everything they've done this week and taking a big moment like Kenny Omega being on their show and having 4 black men in the main event this week on a regular show, and then giving us that great main event for the pay-per-view this year. Like, I mean, I think they had a fantastic week. Everybody's eyes were on what is AEW going to do with Impact, and Impact was kind of like, no, we kind of got some stuff cooking too. Exactly. Like, you can pay attention to our show too.
Yeah, man, I think Impact definitely has been on put. Like, for real, like, since the pandemic started, I think Impact kind of been they've been on one as far as like presenting good TV week to week. Like, of course, not everything's going to hit. It's impossible for everything to hit, but I feel like for the most of their stuff, they really been on point, and especially with the recent Chris Bay Rich Swann match, and like just kind of them building to the Rich Swann title win and having that big comeback for him, and like I think that was real special. So yeah, man, Impact they doing some big things right now, man, and I definitely think this whole partnership with AEW Dark is going, and like maybe we see like a little combination of like, like I'm talking about like Impact's explosion in AEW. I see what
you're cooking up, Andrew. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Definitely. Like maybe we get that good man Lee Moriarty. On AEW,
this is only good for the wrestling business. Them working together, it's gonna be great. I'm telling you, it's gonna be great.
Let me ask y'all this though, like just kind of like so. I feel like NXT, like they really have been putting on like good TV overall, right? But like I feel like just with AEW and them working with the NWA to help improve the women's division, them working with Impact, and I think them working with Impact, of course, is going to only help improve their women's division and help just improve the overall product. Like, dude, I feel like the only thing NXT can do is to open up the doors, like, to somebody.
They got to do something,
bro, because they are about to get crushed. Like, and like, I don't like necessarily even mean in the ratings thing. I mean, I think you can pick or choose if you choose to care about that or not. But like, I'm talking about just as far as entertaining TV goes, I feel like AEW is like really getting up on NXT, even though NXT is putting on good stuff. It's just not as like popularized right now. I think it's the proper thing to say. But like, man, I'm telling you, I feel like the only thing WWE can really do is just open the doors to one of these promotions and be like, hey, let's do something. Let's talent exchange. Let's work something out. Because, man, if they don't get with the times, man, I'm telling you, they're going to get left. I'm telling you.
That's good to be good. Yeah, like you just tweeted a few days ago about NXT, Phil. It's like, what is this? Like, what's going on? What's gonna like? This show just has no soul. Like, I love all the wrestlers there, but it's just like it's nothing to grab onto. It's just like, this is a great wrestling show. I love it. Like, I love PWG. I love that. But you guys have to, like, there has to be something more in order to try to do what you're trying to do, like, quote unquote, against AEW or against, anybody. I'm not going to pick your show over. I watch AEW first on Wednesdays every time. Like, it never fails because their shows, to me, it's better. It has more, they're trying to build more people. I mean, I guess it can be debated. Someone's going to be on Twitter talking shit to us about this shit. And you know what? I don't care. Fuck NXT. No, I'm just kidding. But look, check it out. It needs something, dude. It needs, I don't know what it is. I think it could be that, Andrew. It could be like, maybe you bring in Ring of Honor, or you like start working with like some Japanese promotion, or like, it needs like something. I don't know what it is.
In the ass, bro. That's what they need. They need something exciting.
But it feels like they got it kicking the ass already, though. Like, what are they gonna do with? Like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah,
you go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to what I tweeted. So specifically, what I tweeted is, what is it now? Because it's not really a third brand. They don't treat it like a third brand. It's not really developmental anymore. So what exactly is it? And I mean, I feel like if you're going to investigate that and change it in a good way, I feel like you have to pick a side that you're going to be on. Either it's going to be a third brand or it's going to be developmental. Mm-hmm. So, if it's a third brand, you're going to keep guys like Gargano there, and then you're not going to move them up, and you're going to move guys like Finn there. Then do that and make it a wrestling show that is worthy of a third brand. But if it's going to be developmental, then develop guys like Leon Ruff and some of these other guys that are coming in that probably should move up, like Rhea and all these other people. But I feel like that's one of my biggest hindrance with it right now. And I say hindrance, for lack of better words, not to say that it's a bad show, but I keep like questioning, like, what is the end goal to a lot of this stuff? Like, where are we going? And I think like that is definitely missed. And I think the other part of it, somebody else mentioned this, and I totally agreed. I think it was just better when it was a scripted show.
Right.
Man. When it jumped to live, it just kind of lost some of the storytelling.
It did.
Man, bro, I'm telling you, when NXT was just that 1 hour on the network, bro, that was like one of the best hours of weekly wrestling, bro. It was so good because they took their time with the stories, and like now it's just like week to week booking. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, what can we do?
That doesn't work for this. Bro, it doesn't work.
Bro, I'm telling you, and then they like, I mean, NXT was always on Wednesdays. Like it was always on Wednesdays in that spot, but like it was just on the network. But like they really got the shit under the stick with this, with AEW coming up, man. And then AEW I think it just really endeared a lot of people, especially with the Dark program. Like that just like spotlighting so many independent wrestlers, and then I'm pretty sure they're gonna keep doing that. And, we never know who we gonna see on AEW Dark next. That's that next big independent wrestler. You know what I'm saying? So man, I'm like for real, bro. I feel like WWE they probably gonna try to pull a move and probably create like some NXT Evolve or something like that.
Right.
To
even
like,
though it's already that.
Bro, because they own Evolve now. So like I wouldn't be surprised to see if they try to like not. I mean, either way, if they do create some type of developmental program as far as like, NXT Evolve or something like that, I think people are always going to view it as, they copying AEW Dark. So, I mean, it's going to be like, I really don't know what NXT could do to get more eyes on their product, man, but they need to do something.
It's weird because it's like, have they ever really been a development brand? Because I'm thinking about take Asuka's run, for example. She killed it in NXT. The beginning of her main roster run was awful. They didn't know what to do with her at all. They had her lose to Charlotte. It's just like, when they get these NXT wrestlers, they don't. It's like, do you watch? If you have a development brand, do you watch it?
Yeah, so that's the other problem with it, because it's like, for a long time, it's like, it's developmental, but they don't work alongside the other shows like they should, so that when these people move up, that they have a place to go and they have a plan for them. And I think that's like definitely a big problem. I mean, even when you talked about Street Profits earlier, I would say Street Profits are possibly the most successful tag team to come up.
I was just thinking that. Yep.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
Revival, because they won both titles, of course, but Revival stumbled like in terms of character and story. Like they just didn't seem to know what to do with them. But
Street Profits have probably had the easiest just transition of like we were this here and we're this now, and we're just keeping it going. I can't even really think of anybody. Like everybody else has struggled like out the gate.
And you know what, Phil, like something you brought up, man, like it's crazy how they don't kind of incorporate NXT more, because I think when we all think about some of the best shows for WWE of the year, that show when NXT invaded and did that when the wrestlers got stuck over in Saudi Arabia, though that was like the best show of the year.
Oh, I forgot about that show.
Remember that when Adam Cole faced Daniel Bryan in the main event?
That was phenomenal.
And Bryan put him over in the main event, had Adam Cole winning, going to Survivor Series, man. Like, no, that was like one of the best shows of the year right there.
That's
and
right.
I'm like, how, as far as WWE goes, and I'm like, how do you not see that and be like, okay, maybe we need to keep the NXT guys like flowing in it. It ain't like they gotta be permanent Raw or SmackDown members. Have somebody come in for a one-up match. Like if you think somebody's gonna be exciting, can you imagine the matchups that we could have got when Keith Lee was at that point in his career? Right. I think he was teetering around the North American title picture around that time. But like, you imagine if we could have got like a Keith Lee versus anybody. You know
they should have did
or,
like how they did Kevin Owens, because when Kevin Owens came over, he was still NXT champion. They should have had they should have had Keith Lee do that same thing. Continue to be NXT champion, go over there and fight Randy Orton still, fight Drew McIntyre, fight whatever, and still build that. But instead they were like, nope, just strip them of all the stuff that people like.
Just think about it this way. Survivor Series last year, Roman gave Keith Lee the nod.
Yeah.
How cool would it have been if Keith came up and they both had titles now?
Exactly.
Like, man, that champion versus championship match would have had story. It would have had, and not to say that the champion versus champion match we had wasn't great, because I mean, Roman versus Drew was great.
Yeah.
But man, if Keith Lee came up with the title after he got the nod and he got they did like the triple threat like they did last year, I think that would have been cool.
Man. Definitely. And you know what, man? Look, I don't want to turn this into just a whole WWE thing, but like when y'all, like when I hear y'all talk and y'all say these things, it like bring up other memories that you think about, and like other instances where you be like, why didn't they do this? And another thing, and you know, we're not gonna talk about how the title reign ended, but we're gonna talk about the middle. I'm pretty sure y'all know where I'm going. Is Kofi Kingston's
you said title reign, and I got triggered.
But look though, and I even know I haven't seen Phil tweet this out, like, how did they not go to the Ali feud? In no way. I'm like, bro, that is ready made. If Ali did get injured, Kofi wouldn't have been in the spot.
Right.
It's like, it's right there. Like, that story is literally right there, and instead they gave us 3-4 months of Randy Orton. I'm like,
right.
Like,
no,
that story was good for what it was, but I think Kofi and Ali could have had something great in the ring. Like, it was like, come on, man. And then, you know, they did what they did with Kofi at the end, and they tried to give us our little hoorah moment at the Royal Rumble when Kofi came.
I don't want that.
Yeah, I made it I was very vocal about hating it. I didn't like the Rumble this year. I
don't want that.
I hated how they did Kofi. But again, that's what I said with the Keith Lee thing. If it just happens in a vacuum and he just had that moment with Brock, that moment's cool. But to have him lose like that to Brock and then him get thrown out in the Rumble again, and you didn't really ever fix it, it was like, nah.
It's never been fixed.
It doesn't do it for me. I really would love to see Kofi win a Rumble one year. It just seems like he's been destined to win a Rumble for a long time, and it just never happened.
The issue I have with the Kofi losing is now it's just like a joke for heels. Now, you lost to Brock Lesnar, but like, now he doesn't even have a rebuttal. He's like, yeah, they didn't do anything afterwards. It's yo, man.
They do that a lot with their good guys, because that was the thing with Sasha for a long time. It was like, you can't defend the title, and it's like, what can she say? She's lost, so
she's like, yeah, you're right.
The thing with Kofi was, and I think a lot of people kind of didn't like it, was when, like, I think y'all remember, like, after he lost the title, they kind of started to tease, like, Kofi getting real upset, like, when he was, like, when people were mentioning he was, like, squish the hell out of the pancake, and, like, really get, like, he would really get upset on far as the character goes, and like that just like vanished. And like I think people kind of wanted to see like a little bit more aggressiveness. Not necessarily him turning on Woods and E, but it was just more so like, bro, you just got your ass whooped in like 9 seconds, but like, bro, say something, bro. Like,
just be like, yo, Brock Lesnar, I'm gonna see you or something, you know? Damn.
Like, and then they just like, and then another thing, like, see, here we go, y'all making me remember stuff, bro. They literally just did that for Brock to face Cain Velasquez.
Get out of here! Oh my God, you brought up Cain Velasquez.
Bro, they cut this man from his contract.
Oh my God,
that is a whole UFC heavyweight champion, bro. They cut this man from his contract, and that was the reason that they took the title off Kofi. I'm assuming is because they were going Cain and Brock, and the match was not good, was not entertaining.
Oh my God!
First of all, you got Cain Velasquez, and Cain Velasquez was with Triple A doing all of this lucha stuff, and he didn't do any of that stuff for WWE.
Oh my God! I'm pissed. Like, how are you gonna go? He had a viral video of people being like, wow, he's blowing us away. And then he got to WWE and he didn't do one of the viral video moves.
He didn't.
What sense does that make?
Wrestling stuff, like, it didn't make any sense. You got him with the most popular mainstream luchador next to him, and he's not doing any lucha moves.
You mean Rey Mysterio was there too, and he hasn't did one head scissors or nothing? What are you guys doing, man?
It kind of all like harkens back to like what could have been for the rest of Kofi's reign if Cain Velasquez didn't come. I mean, for all we know, maybe that was always the plan for them to have Brock win the title back on the season debut of Fox. Like,
well, I'm pretty positive it was. It makes makes sense.
Like Reg and Phil, when y'all first saw the graphic for Kofi versus Brock at the Fox show, like I'm pretty sure we all thought the same thing. It's probably like, that's probably that's probably gonna be it. But
I knew it was happening. I just didn't think it was gonna be 9 seconds. Is it?
Right.
Like I know, like of course he's gonna lose. It's fucking Brock Lesnar on Fox and all this shit. But yo, give me 13 seconds at least. My
whole thing was like when you look at these marquee matches that Brock had right over the years, AJ, Daniel Bryan, and just these Finn, right? They all have had these moments in these matches with Brock where you just like, maybe even if you went into it knowing that Brock was gonna win, you just thought like for that little second, that 1 second, you thought that they was gonna be Brock. Like even with Daniel Bryan when he hit him with the low blow and he hit him with the flying knee, I was like, oh shit, he might, because Daniel Bryan just won a title. I was like, oh shit, he about to really be Brock. But I wish they could have just gave Kofi ain't nobody saying it had to be a 20-minute classic. Look,
no.
we know we know how they view Brock. Brock is ranked above all when they come to hierarchy in the company as far as talent goes. We all know this. This is not some surprise or no big information, right? But like I wish they just could have gave Kofi like that one little moment. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he flip out of the F5 and hit over the Trouble of Paradise, and then after that he beat him, right? Mm-hmm. After that Brock beat him, but like they didn't give Kofi anything. And like he just came off one probably the best WrestleMania moment that they ever had. We should have closed the show, all respect to Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, but I think Kofi Mania probably should have closed the show. But still, like I just didn't like how they ended that.
And Sasha should have been in that fucking main event match. But that's another story for another day.
What a rant right there, man.
I don't want to get into the Kofi stuff. Like everybody knows Kofi's my guy. Like I'm a huge Kofi fan. So I don't want to rant too much about it, but it just to me is indicative of just how they see black wrestlers sometimes. Right. It's like it's cool to give y'all a moment, but it's never like a sustained thing. And I mean, you can look at the Keith Lee thing in the same way. Like it's a great moment because I've seen a lot of people where I talk about it and they'll go, but who else has ever been double champion in NXT history? And I'm like, yeah, that's going to be the moment, but they always do that. They always give us a moment and it's not sustained. I mean, when I talked to Scorpio earlier this year and he was saying how he wants to be world champion, he wants to be a top guy, he wants to be a main eventer. He doesn't want to just win the title and just be his moment. He wins the title. He wants to be a consistent top guy. And I think that's what we want in Kofi. That's what we want in Keith. That's what we want in all of these guys that have the potential to be that.
Kofi. You sons of bitches. I'm pissed off again. I had forgot about it. It was out of my brain. And here comes Cain Velasquez in my fucking brain. No fucking hits. There's no lucha moves. This is some bullshit. And you know what's funny? I swear, just like 2 days ago, I was thinking, man, I miss Brock Lesnar.
I do not. I do not. Man, I
don't know why I was thinking that.
Honestly, I think SmackDown's world title picture suffered from the second Kofi lost the title, and it is only rebounded since Roman won the title. Like, it was a drag for the entire time, for like over a year after Kofi lost it.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that about Brock Lesnar. I think the biggest detriment to Roman Reigns' career so far is Brock Lesnar. Like, he would be at a higher plateau if Brock Lesnar didn't cut him off every time Roman Reigns got super hot. They're like, all right, you're going to wrestle Brock Lesnar. And then it's just like, they let Brock win and it just fucks it all up.
But like, he did the same thing to Braun.
He did the same. Yeah, he did. He killed Braun's career. He killed Joe's momentum. I'm like, why did you guys kill all these momentums for Brock Lesnar, man?
No, like, yeah, that's like, you know what? I'm gonna just let that go because I could go a whole rant about that. Because, bro, like, that's some accurate shit. Like, Brock really has, like, the way they position him is like a real detriment to other talents, because it's like other talents really come up and then they like, oh, well, you're not gonna beat Brock. Like,
exactly.
We'll make you look good on the way there, but you ain't winning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Reg, Black Wrestlers match of the year, please.
I don't know. We went on a rant for that was Fed of the year. That's why. WWE, we feel how we feel about you, all right? Fucking change it. I'm tired of it. I don't want this shit anymore. I want to watch a show that I'm invested in and be happy about it, and not have to go and rant on the fucking internet, and all these fucking marks are mad at me because they say, oh, you should just watch it and enjoy. No, I don't want to fucking watch and enjoy. I'm invested in this shit. Fucking write and read about all this shit, been WrestleMania and all this shit, and I don't want it anymore. I want to be happy about the shit that's going on. Fucking fix it. Bruce Pritchard, it was your fault that Kofi Kingston lost the belt. Don't think I forgot, Bruce Pritchard. It was all your fault, and I'm mad about it. I'm never going to be happy about it, and I wish Paul Heyman had your job. Suck it. Next, on to the match of the year, the final category. A lot of great categories here. We had AJ Gray versus Desmond Xavier from For the Culture. Lee Moriarty versus ACH from For the Culture. Lee Moriarty versus Jonathan Gresham from Joey Janela's Spring Break 4. AJ Gray versus ACH from Glory Pro. Christian Casanova versus ACH from Black Label Pro. AJ Gray versus Eric Royal from Black Label Pro. Chris Bay versus Willie Mack for the Impact Wrestling X Division Championship. We had the New Day versus the Hurt Business. It was on the Raw before Survivor Series. New Day versus the Street Profits from Survivor Series. Fred Yehi versus ACH and AEW. Nobody's talking about this match, but this match is so fucking good. Oh my God, go watch it. Trish Adora versus Timmy Lou Retton from Summer Jam. Trish Adora versus Darius Lockhart versus Mr. Grimm from the time that Trish Adora wins the championship. Shane Taylor versus Kenny King from ROH TV. Shane Taylor knocks Kenny King the fuck out. You have to go see it. AR Fox versus Too Cold Scorpio at For the Culture. Myron Reed versus Too Cold Scorpio at VXS Wrestling. Myron Reed versus Freddie Hudson in a 2 out of 3 falls match in Paradigm Pro. Mike Outlaw versus Lee Moriarty from Glory Pro. ACH versus Leo Rush from Joey Janela's Spring Break 4. Top Flight versus 40 Acres versus Culture Season For the Culture. JDX versus ACH Black Wrestlers Matter. Hoodfoot Mo Atlas versus O'Shea Edwards. And ACH versus Trey Lamar from GCW. What a bunch of phenomenal matches. So many of these matches are really fucking good. It's a hard choice to make from all these choices. I've seen all these matches pretty recently, and I could name 5 of them right now, and they're all like amazing matches. This is a crazy list of matches. What do you guys think? What was your match of the year, Andrew Thompson?
So my match of the year on this list, I am definitely going to go with Lee Moriarty versus Jonathan Gresham and Joey Janela Spring Break, and I'm going with that because like they just did something completely different from the vibe of that show. Yep. Like Joey Janela Spring Break is always like a party, like. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the time, the breakout match of that show is like some hardcore type match, but the dudes just beating the shit out of each other the whole time, and I always enjoy that. But I feel like Lee And Jonathan, of course, I don't know what they said before the match, but I'm pretty sure they probably was like, let's do something just a little different from what everybody else gonna see. And they went out there and wrestled a great technical match, and I think they did something real good on that. So I'm gonna roll with Lee and John for this category.
Yep. And you, Phil?
It's like 3 matches that happened that should be on this category. That's write-ins now, because I mean, man, because Rich and Bay is like fresh in my mind. Like I really want to say that that's match of the year.
Yeah,
it was just so good. I mean, and you could throw Trish and versus Jordan from the Women's Garden.
That was good too.
That was really good match. Really good technical match.
The Super J Cup, ACH and Chris Bay. I'm like, yo, you guys, why are you having all these matches at the end? Oh man, what? But it's fine. It's worked out. As long as everybody sees them, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I agree. It should be the Joey Janela Spring Break Moriarty versus why am I drawing Gresham? Because I mean, that was, man. When I say that I think Gresham is underrated, it's because we always hear such and such is the best technical wrestler in the world. This person's the best technical wrestler in the world. Gresham should be on that list and pretty high on that list. He is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world, and I don't hear enough people say that. He needs to get his flowers, and I don't see enough people saying that. I hope people that saw this match know now just how good this guy is, and he should be on everybody's list, like I said, everyone's list.
Definitely. Look at you guys in agreement. The number 1 match of the year this year, correct. Lee Moriarty versus Jonathan Gresham from Joey Janela Spring Break. A phenomenal match. This was I talked to Lee Moriarty before. I interviewed him a couple days before that, and his mind state, I just knew what he was going to do that weekend. And he had like 3 or 4, maybe 5 matches, I don't know. And every single match was different with every single guy. And he executed. That's why he got the number 1, like you said earlier, the number 1 wrestler of 2020. Because he went that weekend and he executed in such different ways for all those matches that it was just undeniable. In this match, Jonathan Gresham, I mean, I've been Jonathan Gresham fan club for like 5 years now. Like, I'm glad it's finally happening. I'm glad people are finally seeing what I've been seeing, that like this guy is really it, man. If you just let him focus in on exactly what the mission that he has, he's going to excel. And that's what ROH is finally doing. And this match was phenomenal. I love it. Everyone needs to go see Lee Moriarty versus Jonathan Gresham, Joey Janela Spring Break. Number 2 was Trish Adora versus Mr. Grimm versus Darius Lockhart. Fight Club Pro Wrestling, crowning of a champion, a 3-way match. This was the finals of the crowning of the champion. Mr. Grimm's a great talent, one of the baddest, hardest hitting, just scary dudes out on the indies. Darius Lockhart is probably, I didn't talk about him much earlier with the promos, but the promos that he's done, I think he's probably done more from the previous year because he was hurt a lot of the year, but the promos that he's done are some of the best in all of wrestling. You just have to see the vision that he has is so different, and I can't wait till he gets back into, comes back to wrestling and able to execute all the ideas that he has. Going to be great. That match was phenomenal. And then number 3 was New Day versus the Street Profits from Survivor Series. They had the internet going nuts that day. We were all spazzing out on these guys just going ham, man. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I definitely think the Lee versus Gresham match, I definitely think that's the rightful one to be the match of the year. Right. And I like those two, like, and you want to know something? So like when we talk about Jonathan Gresham being one of the best technical wrestlers, like I feel like he really has been probably the best technical wrestler for many years, but I feel like that award has always been given to Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, and maybe like and please don't get me wrong when I say I think Zack Sabre Jr. is a great wrestler, but like
me too.
You know what I'm saying? Like he really is a great wrestler, but maybe like
say it, Andrew. Don't be scared.
No, not that. But I'm saying like I'm trying to figure out like why when Jonathan Gresham has been the same places and he's traveled the world the same way as Zack Sabre Jr. has, like why would he not be like looked at in that same limelight as Zack Sabre Jr. Like, and even then, Gresham is like a phenomenal wrestler and a phenomenal technical wrestler. It has been for many years. So it's just like how people kind of immediately give that to Zack Sabre Jr. and like kind of leap over Gresham.
You know the vibes, man. You know why. You know why, man. Listen, man. I don't want to make it a. Listen, because there's this thing, like, we always make, like, this guy's a great black wrestler. This woman is a great black female wrestler. But, man, it's been past time to categorize a lot of these black wrestlers as what they are. Like, man, call Montez what he is. He's one of the best high flyers out there right now. Same thing with Leo. Call him one of the best high flyers out here, because that's what he is. He's one of the best cruiserweights in the world.
Phenomenal, yeah.
And that like that's why initially I didn't want to just come out and say, because I didn't want to be like one of those things where he's like a great black wrestler. Like we like, he's just a great wrestler overall. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I didn't want that to be the first notion that came to somebody's head. It was like, nah, man, he's just a great wrestler. But like, yeah, I definitely think. I mean, I just think the wrestling, like, I think this year has been a real eye-opening one for professional wrestling, as far as seeing like how many talented black wrestlers are out there. And I feel like wrestling has always been wrestling still kind of is, when you look at it. It's always been like a predominantly white sport. But like, I feel like over this year specifically, like, you really just seeing like, hey, there's a lot of black wrestlers out here that deserve to be on TV, deserve to be in these primetime spots. They can hold it down if you need them to. Like, bro, you would never know if somebody's a draw if you don't give them a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way you'll be able to figure that out. Like, you can't just assume somebody won't be a draw. They can't bring in viewers. They can, bro, if you position somebody the right way, they can do anything. You can turn anybody into a star. Nobody is unstar makeable, if that's even afraid. Like, you can literally make anyone into a star, bro. Literally anybody. You know what I'm saying? So like, those excuses of, oh, they wouldn't fit in this program, or they wouldn't be able to work in this promotion, that's all bullshit, because you can make any, bro, and not to discredit anybody's work, but like, dude, they literally made Hornswoggle into a star. They made James Ellsworth into a star.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Bro, you can make anybody a star if you want them to be a star.
If you want them to be, yeah,
I'm telling you, like, it's literally that simple. If you want them to be a star, they will be a star. But if you don't, we have history. So
I mean, that's why I'm like, you have to give people the credit that they deserve. Like, I mean, one of the things that I ended up being like absolutely annoyed with, to the point where I just stopped tweeting about it altogether, is when the Naomi Deserves Better thing came out, and there were people saying that they thought Naomi was the greatest of all time. And you had certain white writers coming out and saying, well, why does she even deserve that? Like, she's not as good at this Japanese wrestling. It's like, look, y'all think y'all dictate who is the best because y'all have for the longest. Y'all get on these podcasts, y'all write these things, y'all put together y'all star ratings, and y'all decide who is the greatest. But there is no black writers in those circles that are doing that. And that's why y'all get to tell us this person doesn't belong on the greatest of all time list.
Exactly.
Yes, Naomi does. She does belong on the greatest of all time list for some people. It doesn't have to be for in-ring competition. It could be for somebody that was like, I've never seen anyone come out on a WWE stage as big as Royal Rumble with her natural hair and kill it. Right. And that means something to people. So you can't just decide for those people that she's not the greatest of all time to them, because that is their opinion. At the end of the day, y'all that are writing these things are of the same breath. Y'all are doing the same thing, just giving y'all opinion and giving y'all observations. So that's why I'm like, man, I think it was Timmy Lou Redden, he tweeted like, man, normalize putting black wrestlers in all-time great lists, because that's where they belong. And there's several black wrestlers that belong there. And I mean, man, I remember when Kofi was saying that the company sees him like Steamboat, because they see him as one of the best pure faces they've ever had. And he is. Then treat him like that then. Right. Put him on that list and put him of that stature.
Mm-hmm. They don't talk about him like they talk about Ricky Steamboat at all.
Not on TV, maybe behind closed doors. And if you're doing it behind closed doors, then put him over like that on TV.
Exactly.
Man, oh my goodness. Hey, Reg, that was the last category, right?
That was it.
So let's open up this discourse, because Phil said something, man. But this needs to be talked about like before we wrap it up, man. Booker T, over the summer, man.
Let's get it.
And his look at Phil ready to get at it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Look,
I'm ready too.
But like, okay, I think we all know what specifically we're talking about. His comments about Naomi and Big E over the summer, when both of them were kind of making their way up, and it was kind of becoming evident that Big E was going to get the singles push, and Booker T stating that Big E needed to change his whole, I'm guessing his whole attire, and he can't be New Day based, and like needs to really separate himself from New Day. And you know what? On that one, I'm gonna give Booker a pass. I'm gonna let him slap not on Naomi but on Big E, because Paul Heyman kind of said the same thing on Talking Smack. I'm pretty sure y'all saw that clip going around where he was like, and you know what Paul Heyman said was real. Like, if Big E's going to be a star one day, that's I don't think that, like, he already is a star, but I'm talking about like a main single star one day. It's going to happen. It's inevitable that's going to happen. But he literally, like, real talk, not even in character, he's going to have to accept that, bro, New Day is going to be a footnote in your career. Like, that's just what it's like. It's just going to have to be that. Like, you're going to have to come to grips with that. But like with Booker or Naomi, when he was getting mad because people were asking for Naomi to get better, I was like, bro, like, what is your point? Like, what is your angle right here? Like, what you getting at? So I'm gonna leave that for y'all to decide.
You want to go with this one, Ray?
No, you go for it, Phil. Go for it.
Hey, so we keep doing this whole, don't say deserves in wrestling, bro. So, and I mean, I get that's a taboo, but in wrestling circles and in locker rooms, deserve is a taboo. But as fans, that's how we talk. And you can't just decide, okay, fans can't say who they think deserves something. Because last time I checked, that's what dictates who gets a push, is who the fan gets behind. So it's like, you can't just be like, well, the fans don't know anything. Man, we've watched Naomi for over 10 years. To tell me that Naomi needs to earn it, and she's been with this company at parts of her career where she was taken off of cards because somebody's match went over. To lose a match on a WrestleMania card because, somebody else's went over, and that's what they were doing to women. I mean, she was with the company at a point when women weren't getting their own merch. And to say that she didn't earn it in 2020, like, what are we talking about, man? Like, it's ridiculous, man. And, I've seen people that are like, oh, she's a 2-time champion, so what else does she need? I'm like, man, she doesn't have to have everything go her way. She doesn't have to win everything, but give her some storylines, man. Give her something. Give her something to do other than get on TV and say that she's athletic like they do black wrestlers all the time.
Right.
Like, we know she's athletic. Give her a character. Give her things to do. Give her motivations. Like, and I mean, I think Booker understands that, and to get on his podcast and to kind of be like, oh, well, y'all can go to hell, because that's what he said fans can do. Go to hell because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. No, stop telling fans that they don't know what they want. I'm really tired of that in wrestling. Stop telling fans they don't know what they want. Oh my God,
that drives me so crazy, bro. Especially when a fan tries to tell me, bro, I will, oh my God. Oh my God. It's just if we present all the ideas to you, why aren't you accepting them? It's like, okay, no, this is who we want. No, you don't really want him. But I do, though. I'm telling you, right? No, you don't. But, bro, I want him. Why are you going against what we're saying? Like, what's the point of even having fans and saying, we're going to listen to you. We're going to do what you say. Just don't say that. Just fucking do what you got to do and leave us out of this if that's the case, man. I'm getting frustrated.
But Booker is like quite the individual. like he's very confusing, like, with his points sometimes, and like for like it's just crazy to me, like, hearing him speak the way he does about like, and I know he kind of retracted his past comments about, but I'm not gonna say retract. I'm gonna say he further clarified his comments about Sasha Banks when he was saying he was just speaking about her character and not her as a person. But that's what he said. But like, going back on like Booker, knowing that with the thing that happened with him and Triple H on the lead up to Mania 19, when Triple H was talking about his head being nappy and people like you, and you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, just these comments and like knowing what Booker went through early on in his career, and like how he cannot take that and be like, you know what? Let me try to elevate these black wrestlers in this company as much as I can, as much as possible, Like, just because I know how difficult it is to get to a top. Like, bro,
Right.
you did not get to the top until they put a crown on your damn head.
Exactly.
You were
Yeah, I mean,
you go ahead, Phil. You take it over.
yeah, I mean, it could be because I mean, I never thought Booker was as big as he should have been with WWE as he was with WCW. I mean,
Right.
with WCW, he was the man, and when he came over, he did get that big moment with Rock, but he was always looked at as kind of a joke in some ways, and I thought he was better than that. You know, if we don't want to throw the word deserves around, I felt like he deserved a lot better than that with WWE. And that's why I just think it's strange that he's done that. But I think he's so used to the, you know, go along to get along thing that we do in wrestling, and you don't have to do that. You can create your own lane now. We don't have to wait for WWE to give anybody anything. You can go somewhere else and do what you want to do. And like that's why I'm like, he shouldn't be still talking like that. Like not in 2020. You shouldn't be still talking like that.
Okay. I ain't mean to cut you off, Phil, but I wanted to read this Triple H promo verbatim. So what he said to Booker T. But, no, because it's just crazy to me. Like, he literally sat there, and Booker T can go on this podcast and be like, "Oh man, was in character all you want." Bro, if somebody said this to me, bro, in character or not, I would be heated. Right. Like just listen to this, bro. I think you're a little bit confused about your life, your role in life here. You're going to get to go to a WrestleMania, but the fact is, Booker, somebody like you doesn't get to be world champion. People like you don't deserve it. That is reserved for people like me. That is where the confusion is. You're not here to be a competitor. You're here to be an entertainer. That is what you do, entertain people. Hell, you entertain me all the time. Go ahead, do your little dance with me. Go ahead, give me one of those spinneroonies. Entertain me. That is your job. Don't be embarrassed. You're here to make me laugh. With your nappy hair and all your suckers. Hell, I was laughing at you all week long after you won the Battle Royal. Dog.
That's brutal.
And he lost his match after
that. He lost.
I can't believe that.
And he lost.
He lost his match after that.
He lost.
He lost.
He lost. Can
I
you believe that?
No, that was definitely when I was like on the men's with WWE, and I was not watching for a while because it was just like, man, what are we doing? And again, I don't want to make this a complete bash WWE-a-thon, you know, because this rampant throughout the industry. Because everything Booker said in that promo is exactly, like I said, what I feel that some wrestler writers do, and some of these people that make these lists do, because they feel like they can decide that people like us don't belong on those lists because they believe whoever else is better because we've just decided that that's what it is. And I'm not trying to say that it's only because of race, but man, it's just because there are not black voices in some of these rooms. There aren't black voices writing some of these things, and there aren't black voices behind the storytelling. So that's what we get. I mean, if there was a black person in the room when this Triple H promo was looked at, somebody would be like, nah, bro, we can't be doing this. Like, what are we doing?
Don't do that. You're going to do that on Raw? No, you definitely shouldn't do that.
And that's what I mean. You need some black people in these spaces to change these things. And I mean, that's just, you know, that's what I see Darius Lockhart saying a lot on Twitter. And, you know, that's why I give him a lot of credit. Other than him being a great wrestler and a great promo, he's just a great truth teller at this point. And we need it. We need somebody to say a lot of these things that he's saying because, man, people need to think about these things, man.
And I swear we could spend another 20, 40 minutes talking about how that NXT or WWE needed a person of color in that room, whoever, when they decided to create their ACH t-shirt. But you know what?
You know what? I'm gonna leave my Mark Henry and Booker T rants on the table because you know what? We just living nice and free, and because the big homie be talking to Mark Henry, so I like Mark Henry. We're friends.
Hey, I mean, Mark Henry brought us Bianca. So I can't jump on him too much.
Okay, Markin, we like you around here. Okay, you win.
I can't jump on him too much. He has said some things that I don't agree with, though, and I mean, it's no hatred towards Book either, man. Like Book is still one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Definitely,
man.
definitely.
100%.
It's just that thing that you said, Phil. They're just like, they know the system. They're like, if you do these exact things in WWE, you'll succeed, and blah blah blah. You have to follow along. But it's like, nah, fuck all that, man. We don't want to just like, you don't want it to be forever. You don't want like everyone to be following along to these things you followed along to for 30 years and then it just continues for like, no, man, we got to change this guard. We have to change this shit up.
Stop letting them marginalize us, man.
Yes, exactly.
You want to know what, bro? Like something else that you kind of hit on. See, look, y'all keep doing this to me, man. Y'all making me remember stuff. But like, even with the Lio Rush situation, when I heard Mark Henry openly speak about that,
that's the Mark Henry thing. That's kind of
He was like, you know, basically like the whole situation was I'm assuming, well, not assuming, but it's out there that I'm like they wanted Leo to like, you know, carry people bags or like, you know what I'm saying, like little sucker shit like that. But like Mark Henry was like, oh man, that's the stuff you gotta do. I'm like, bro, these are grown ass men, bro. Get your own bag. Yes, get your own stuff. If you want a water, go get a water. I'm not getting the water for you. I'm not carrying your bag.
Mark Henry's like, did you hear that Triple H promo to Booker T? We have to follow that. That's how we do it.
I'm like, bro, like, and then the whole thing with him talking about suing Lio Rush. I'm like,
that was crazy.
Come on, bro.
Crazy.
Come on, man. Like, no.
Shit got kind of weird.
Man, hey, Riddick. go ahead in the podcast.
At that point, I was like, Mark Henry, what the hell are you doing, bro? Oh my god! But you know what? We can't end the podcast burying legends because that's just wrong.
I mean, hey, like I said,
they deserved it. Always, there's that deserve thing. Sorry, Booker T.
Still a big Harlem Heat fan. Still one of the best tag teams ever.
We love Harlem Heat.
Never say otherwise, but man,
Sexual Chocolate's one of the greatest entrance music of all time. We love that song.
Exactly. Y'all gotta relax out here, man. Like y'all gotta stop talking. Y'all gotta stop talking to other black wrestlers. Like the others are not listening to y'all.
Yes, man.
Like, if you gonna have conversations with that with Leo, have that conversation with Leo behind closed doors, man.
Right.
If you got exactly with Naomi like that, have that conversation with her behind closed doors. He might have, but you got to relax going on your podcast and trying to act like, oh, well, if her fans want something, they can go to hell. Like, nah, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Booker T on the WWE contract to 2027. So, you know, he ain't saying
that.
I saw him on that in that ring. He was the only brother that looked like him in that ring for that Undertaker farewell. I know what it is. I know what it's like. Come on, man.
Hey, Phil, ease up, man.
You know what?
I'm just saying, man. I see what's happening, man. That's
we see it.
Hey, Phil, you ain't had to go there, bro.
They couldn't find Ron Simmons. No, he was in the Ministry of Darkness or something, right?
Hey, bro. He said my bad, bro.
He has no character. He has no character connection to him. But he was
not at all. I never have in my life thought of them two together. They don't even.
Hey, bro, I was about to make a joke about
what was Booker T doing there.
Oh, about the jokes about what they was probably saying in the book in the locker.
You kidding?
So, like, come on, man. Like, that's why I'm like, man, it's a reason why you keep getting called back, and there's some other people that don't get called back. It's a reason why Book gets called back and Jazz never gets called back.
Exactly.
Like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, I know what this is, and that's why I'm like, if that is what it is, and you about to bag, then do that. But
don't what's up, straight up.
Like, don't cut it out, man.
I want Booker T to say that. Like, yo, Mark Henry comes out like, yo, no, I'm about this money, Leo. I'm sorry. Like, WWE's paying me, and I don't care. Like, if he said that, I'd be like, all right, you know. But instead, he's gonna come and try to like patronize the young dude. And dude, come on, man. There should never be no black wrestler. I'm sure there were black wrestlers after that felt they couldn't go and talk to these guys. Because they're just going to, you know, like, well, I thought you would be the one. I don't want to go talk to Terry Taylor or fucking whoever. I thought I'd be able to go and talk to Mark Henry. He's black and blah, blah, blah. You treat me just like fucking the Red Rooster, bro.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, man, if you want to be in that position where it's leadership, then you can't talk to us like everything is the same for us that it is for the entire locker room, because you know that that's not true.
They know for a fact. They've been in it. That promo was about him, and he's still. How did that promo go against you, and you still have the nerve to go and say anything to anybody ever? That's crazy.
I just want to clarify this because I know, like, when I was telling Phil to, when I was telling Phil to cut it out. No. When I was telling Phil to cut it out, like that, like where I'm from, we always be like, with somebody telling the truth, we be like, cut it out. So just because I know people will be like, why you telling them to stop? Nah, but I don't mean actually stop. I mean keep going. But like,
let them cook.
Come on, man. It's all right, man. You know.
We're going to have to send these people a guide of how black people talk. Look, when we were saying this right here, this is what we meant.
This is what I'm like, man. You know, I saw a lot of people talking about how black people talk when Brandy did her promo as well.
Oh, right.
It's a lot of white folks that know how we talk, but, you know, they got that one black friend and they never been to a ghetto. It's like, y'all got to relax, man.
Yeah, it's not the same.
That was quite the conversation.
This hood that you guys are all talking about. Oh, Brandy got real hood. You don't even know what that means. Why are you saying that?
Hey, bro. Reg, let me just add in this real quick, bro. When Dustin Rhodes called Jay Cargill ratchet, bro, I was like,
no. You don't even know what that means. She's not ratchet at all.
Yeah.
But no, you want to know what that is, bro? He see a black woman that look good, got a different hair color that he probably ain't never seen on a black woman before, and be like, oh, you know, that's his instinct. And in his mind, him being a 50-something-year-old man from the South, that's heat, as they say, getting heat by calling somebody. I'm like, you look like an idiot saying that. Please,
exactly.
If there's any white wrestlers listening to this, and I'm pretty sure if you probably are listening to this, that
like cut it off, bro. Now, man.
bro. These young black brothers are cutting up. I cannot handle this.
Hey, you know what, bro? So y'all about to have me start tweeting, bro.
This is my favorite podcast ever. Y'all are fucking funny, man.
Y'all about to have me tweeting out here, bro. But like,
we got to come back, man. We need them. We need them rants. I'm about to add ROH with your name right now. Look, we off the Nick Gage thing now. We're on to ROH hate, man. We moved on.
Hey, bro, no, but for real though, bro. If it's any white wrestlers, like, if you just so happen to listen to this, like, please stop using the word.
Yeah, just stop.
Hey, look, I ain't trying to be funny, bro, but bro, do y'all remember when Ember Moon's boy?
Oh no!
I'm done.
See, man, we gotta go. Okay, we gotta go.
Oh man, I had to show somebody a picture the other day because they didn't know what I was talking about, and I was like, bro,
no.
Hey, Reg,
I can't, man. I can't.
Bro.
The other day, Ember tweeted about
Hey, bro.
You know what? This has been the Black Wrecellence podcast.
Oh,
Andrew Thompson loves ROH. That's his favorite wrestling company of all time. Phil was happy that Booker T said that to Naomi. That he's like, Booker T's his favorite wrestler. That's what he said. That's how we're gonna end it. And me? Now you know what? I'm just fucking around, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on the podcast. That was phenomenal. Such a great time talking to you guys about this. There would be no other way for me to drop this list than to talking to you two about the year, man. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, bro, let me tell you something, bro. That was legit one of the funnest podcasts I did too.
Yeah, that was funny,
bro,
man.
Two of the coolest dudes I know, man. I was like, whenever I see y'all work on the timeline, man, I always retweet it, bro. Y'all are fucking hilarious. Great.
No, for real. When I said that you guys are my favorite journalists, I mean that shit. When you guys drop shit, I'm like, my brothers are cooking, because I just know that, like, I'm gonna relate to everything you guys are saying, and I'm not gonna feel like on some weird shit. I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, I would write this too. That's what it's like. I have no problem retweeting anything you guys say, because it's like, I know before even reading it, I know what it's gonna be. It's like, yo, listen to this shit. These are my guys. Appreciate y'all,
man. No, that's all love, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Appreciate you, Phil, man. Thanks, you guys.